Hi, I am Tatiana,
And I'm Val.
and this is Risk and Hustle. Today's guest built an iconic rice and beans food truck that captured the attention and love of the community all around. Today, he owns multiple restaurants. Jason, welcome to Risk and Hustle.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you
I
for being
appreciate
here.
it.
We really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for hearing me out.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
This is exciting. I
Yeah.
know you're a busy
Yes.
guy,
Mhm.
so it's a good time into I think to for you to tell your story. I mean, I'm sure you're not anywhere near where you want to be in life, but this
Mhm.
is,
I mean,
this
this
is what
is a
we
great
do.
start. What are we up to? Three
Yeah, right now we got
restaurants?
three, I say three and a half. So we got three
Okay.
restaurants. And then I have a small little concession stand that I run also.
Okay. Where's the concession stand?
So that's at Thrills. So if you guys know Thrills, Alpha
Yep.
Exit 2, it's like an
Yeah.
indoor theme amusement park,
Yeah.
trampoline. So I handle all the parties. So if you like chicken fingers, that's what we do over there.
Oh,
Yep.
Mhm.
awesome. Okay, so tell us about each restaurant. So you have 3.
Yeah, we have three.
Mhm.
We've opened up Bottega in 2020,
Yep.
and then in 2022 we're at Craft, and then as of recently, you guys obviously like the place, so it's been a year now in
Yeah.
Brookfield Social. It's like,
Love that place.
yeah, I love that place too. You know what I mean?
We
That's like
really
my
needed a
favorite.
place
Yeah.
like that around. I don't
Yeah.
think there's enough like
Yeah.
sports
Mhm.
bar type
It
of
feels
vibe.
good.
It
That's like
does.
one thing, the energy behind it. So I really that's one of my favorite projects we've done so
Yeah.
far.
It
Mhm.
just feels nice because you don't really like you can dress up and go,
Hmm.
for a date night, or if you just feel like you want to just go and have a
I
drink,
feel like it's
you don't
super
have to go
casual.
crazy. It's
That's what I
casual
like.
and no one's judging you.
Yeah.
And it's always
Hmm.
packed, which is great. And you're
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
like, people watching, you're having a good time. That's our favorite thing, going to that
Hmm.
bar in there. My wife loves to meet, obviously new people there because every time we're
Hmm.
there,
I met a really great, wonderful
she
person.
sits and
Val
talks to
was the third
everybody.
wheel.
I was
Okay.
like, why am I here?
Yeah.
I will tell you about her
Yeah.
later.
I think the people that go there are just nice. That's one thing
They
that I
are.
realized. It might be Brookfield or whatever the case is, but everybody that goes there, like it's almost like they want us to be there. And I
Right.
think that's like important. Like a lot of times you open up places and it seems like the first couple weeks you get like the critics.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think we ever got that.
Right.
Everybody that was there was just like so excited to be there, happy that we're open, and I think they want us to stick around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we rarely like have to deal with complaints or nothing. There's just good vibes in there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I,
How did you pick that location? Because that was a Panera Bread before, and
yeah.
we're talking about Social in
Mhm.
Brookfield. How did that come about?
So locations, as you guys know, they're far and few, right? And that's a good
Yes.
sign. So that's a good sign that these are good markets to be in,
Right.
right? You can't just wake up one day and have the capital and decide you want to open up over there. It just
Nope.
doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. So that location, it's been in the works for a while, but it takes time. So
Mhm.
luckily, it was a point where Panera was moving out, and since we've been looking at it, we were always going to be first in line. But then
Mhm.
again, the other struggle is like you're in this nice plaza. You can't just say, I want to move in there, right?
Right.
Now the landlord says, well, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
Can
They
you
want the
guys run a
details.
business in my plaza? Plus, you're going to be the old Panera. You're going to be right in the corner. So
Mhm.
you have the curb appeal, right? It's going to be the first thing people see when they walk in the plaza. They're not
Right.
just going to let anybody go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're lucky enough, and we played with the idea. It's like, what do we do there? And
Mhm.
I always thought that something casual, kind of like a square one on steroids. That was kind of
Yeah.
like the idea.
Right.
And it's a restaurant with a bunch of TVs.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
how I pitch it, right?
So you have Social, that's the sports bar
Mm-hmm.
type, and then you got Bodega,
Mm-hmm.
that's the pizza
Mm-hmm.
and Italian. I
Yeah.
mean, you can
Italian. Yeah.
explain better.
Yeah. Bottega, that was like our first together, myself and my partner. So wood fired concept, Italian, but also like with the good vibes.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's we try to not make the places too serious.
Yeah.
I think that is important, especially in like this area.
Yep.
Yeah.
People want to feel comfortable. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, it's how
I
people
agree.
feel
Yep.
inside your space
Right.
that matters the most. You know what I'm saying? So, um, and then moving on to crafts, also really, really nice place, but we went with more like the barnwood theme.
Yep.
Yep.
Really good service, different kind of level of service, but still
Mhm.
comfortable enough, right?
Right.
So the way I say it's like it's for like people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. For them, it feels like not such a nice, it feels like a
Mhm.
comfortable place, right? It's a nice
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
place, but then for the younger crowd, it might feel like it's like too nice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
get it.
Yeah.
that's kind of what we do over there. So
One thing I know for sure about going to any of your
Mhm,
restaurants is that we're gonna have a good drink.
mhm,
Yes.
for
So
sure.
that's
Well,
like one thing I always say, like we're gonna go to Jason because we know there's gonna be good
Mhm.
drinks.
let's
Start from the early
yeah, let's
days.
Yeah,
start from the
Like,
early
how
days
did
and
you
see.
even get into a restaurant? I guess before rice and
yeah.
beans.
So I would say like what led me here would probably, let's start from the beginning. When after high
Hmm.
school, I was a CNA. Okay,
Okay.
so I was a CNA right down the road. It used to be Maplewood of Newtown.
Where did
Now
you graduate from?
from Danbury High School.
Okay.
So after Danbury High School, they had like this program to be a CNA. So I was CNA for a couple years, and I was doing overnights. So I
Yeah.
was doing 40 hours a week overnight while I was going to WestCon. So
Wow.
so I would work 11 to 7, and then my first class was at 8:20 at
Wow.
Westside campus, right? So I was doing that for a while, and then, you know, doing overnights, and you're in the dementia unit after a while,
Mm.
and you're young. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I was like, I'm not around people. I just it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Right.
So um a friend of mine, a family friend of ours, they're in the they were in the nightclub business.
Hmm.
So I would occasionally go over there, and that it felt good. You know what I'm saying? You're
Hmm.
young, you get to
Just
be
being
around a
around
lot of
people.
people.
Yeah.
That's like, so long story short, I wanted to do something in a restaurant. I wanted to work in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So we came up with the idea, let's go get our bartender's license. Do you need to get that? Probably not. But
Why not?
when you don't know much,
Yeah, you still
you just start with
yeah.
So
whatever.
where did you go to get a bartending
Fairfield,
license?
there was like a course. It was like bartenders out
Yeah.
of Connecticut or something like that. So
Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot of old fashioned drinks.
Old-fashioned
But
drinks.
anyway, I got my bartender's license,
Okay.
and finally, was able to score my first bartending job back in those days, not that long ago. But
Yeah.
back in those days, to get a bartending job as a male, super hard,
Yeah.
almost
Hmm.
impossible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So my first job was actually in Bridgeport. So I was on Black Rock in Bridgeport, at this little divey, smelly bar. But for
Whatever. You
me, it
just
was
needed a
like,
job.
for me, it was everything.
Yeah.
I
Right.
was like, I'm a bartender. And I think my first shift, I was so excited. I was like, I made $50 from tips. I was literally like so excited about that,
Right.
So I would say that would be the first time I got my foot, as far as like I'm now in this business, right? So I did that for a long time. I graduated college, and the one thing I realized is like I wanted to do something of my own. I wasn't
Mhm.
sure, but I was still in bartending. So then I landed my job at Maison,
Yeah.
and you
What
guys
did you
know,
get a degree in?
business.
Okay,
But that
good.
doesn't,
I know.
you know,
I know.
we can get into all that. But
Yeah.
one thing I say is like, you have somebody that's teaching you about business but never owned a business. It's like, does
Yeah.
that make any sense? I don't know,
It needs
but
to be hands-on. I feel like
for
that
sure.
is the best way to
Hmm.
learn and, you know.
I think
Mm.
I can't wait to talk about these colleges and things and degrees that people are getting.
Hmm.
I'm not there yet, but I
Yeah.
definitely want to share that with people because it is crazy what's happening with all these
I
Yeah.
college
I don't
degrees and
think it
everything that's
hurts
happening.
you. I mean, you have it and you're gonna have it
Hmm.
forever, but I guess you can't just count on that. It's if
Depends
you can do
what
both.
you're doing, right? I
Exactly.
mean, something that's like revolving about just around just concepts and theory, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if that's going to help you so much.
So you graduate
Yep.
college, you're
And
bartending.
mhm. Then I got my first job. Well, not my first job, but I was wanted to stay local because I was traveling to Bridgeport.
Mhm.
So a lot of people know me from Maison. So I
Yeah.
was at Maison for a couple years. I love that place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that bartender that I knew your name, I knew your
Mhm.
drink, I knew what you ate, right?
Yeah.
So I was super like, all about hospitality.
Yeah.
Since the very beginning, I've always been like that. I've always taken any job I had, it was like super serious.
Right.
I always joke about it. Some of the people that have bartended with me in the past, they're like, "Why are you so serious about this or that?" And I'm like, "Look, like it's important." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's a big deal because I was so grateful just to be bartending.
Absolutely. Were you involved in like creating drinks at
Oh
Maison?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was all about it. I was
Yeah.
like obsessed with
I
cocktails.
think
I
I
would go to
remember at the
cocktail.
time,
Yeah.
like you used to come up with a lot of drinks.
Hmm.
I remember, was it at one point where you were making drinks for restaurants? like
I
coming up with drinks or
yeah,
something like that? Because I
a
remember
couple, yeah. I mean,
somebody was telling me at one point, they're like, "Oh, you got to go to Jason," because I remember working at Barnwood and they were
mhm.
looking for, and everybody was saying like basically where to get drinks.
So
Yeah,
what
I was
year?
obsessed with that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm not even
Well,
gonna.
I think any time that I've known about you,
Hmm.
it was always connected
Hmm.
to bartender
Bartending,
Jason
yeah.
and
Hmm.
drinks, you know? So, um, when did Rice and Beans start?
So, I think it's important to point out,
Mm,
sometimes you start things out of necessity.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess the truck started off of that. So there was a point where I was bartending in Stanford, right?
Mhm.
And then the Stanford, it's 45 minutes away. So I would work from, drive there, work from 3 in the morning. By the time you're cleaning up the bar, it's now like 4 in the morning. And then by the time you make your way home to Danbury, it's now like four something. So I
Yeah.
found myself doing that. And then one night I remember, like, and it's probably happened to many of us, just falling asleep on the way home and like almost veering off the road.
Oh,
And I
jeez.
realized, all right, maybe as you're getting older, you might have to start thinking of something else, because this is just going to lead somewhere where it's not going to be good for you.
Right.
So,
yeah.
um, didn't know exactly what that was. I just knew I had to make a change, right? I
Right.
needed it, right? So, luckily, through conversation, the idea of opening up some sort of a food cart downtown
Mhm.
Stanford, that came up, which then evolved into a food trailer,
Yeah.
and being Hispanic, something like that. And then, but I did first take my shot off in Norwalk. So that was the idea. A lot of times it's like you only know what you know. So you see food trucks out late, then you're like, all right, if I open up a food truck or trailer, I'm gonna do the late night thing, right? But that was the initial idea. So
Were you bartending at multiple places at that point? Or
yeah,
were you just
I'm
in Stanford Left Maison?
always multiple places. So if you're a full-time bartender,
Yeah.
like, the bartending game is this. It's like you always want to carry two jobs, because if you know anything about restaurants, they have its seasons, right?
Mhm.
So one place is busy in the summer and then the other place is busy in the winter.
The
So
winter,
you're
yeah.
at least guaranteed consistent income if that's all you're depending on, right?
Right.
So I would always work in two places at once. So I was always, over maybe 60, 70, 80 hours. That's what I did, as far
Any
as like,
days off?
I would always have like Monday night off, you know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Or maybe Sunday night off after brunch.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I was always used to like just working all the time,
How
you
old
Mhm.
were
know?
you at the time?
So at 28 is when I decided that I needed to make a change. And then that's when, like, blindly bought a food trailer. We got this trailer all the way in Pennsylvania. So it was
Mhm.
like a 4.5 hour drive from this older couple. They were selling hot dogs out of it. So got the trailer, and then it was like, all right, this is day one. What do we do with it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, from the name to all that stuff is just like, had no idea what we were going to do. And I
Yeah.
didn't even know how to cook on top of that. Right. So
So that was the birth of the
that was the
beginning
beginning of
of
all this, that like,
Rice and
now we're here.
Beans.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. You get a trailer.
yep, we get a trailer. And then, in the beginning of starting anything, it's like you can't know it all. I
Mhm.
think one of the biggest things now, present time, looking back, is you should try to get yourself some sort of a mentor or a lifeline. And you
Mhm.
shouldn't be afraid to go out there. And, you know, if I'm looking to open up, let's say, an acai smoothie juice place, if I envision something like Boost Bowls in my head, I should it's in my best interest to be bold enough to maybe send Val a DM, even if I don't know Val.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey man, like, I'm serious about this, and do you have 5 minutes for a phone call?
Right.
Val will give you those 5 minutes. And in
Yeah.
those 5 minutes, you'll learn a wealth of information, right? Because if you're trying to change career paths, or you're looking to not do what you're doing and then start a business, like, what are the most important things that you need to know? The first two things I would say is like, what would I hope to make, right? Because you need
Mhm.
money to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much is it going to cost, right?
Right.
So, because in the beginning, like, all you have is, you have all the energy, you have the excitement, so you're going to see it through no matter what.
Right.
But a lot of times you go into it blind. So
Totally.
it's like, but you're not even thinking to, like, there's people out there that's all been done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people literally like down the road that are doing exactly what you're doing.
Right.
to the capacity that you're trying to do it. So why
Yeah.
not ask? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
I just think sometimes people either tell you just the worst things and try to get you away from
Hmm.
it, or they just make it look
Hmm.
glamorous. So I'm not sure. Like I totally agree with you.
Hmm.
I think asking questions, we did a lot of research, I think, on our own, just with traveling and checking out
Hmm.
different places and trying to get ideas. But sometimes I don't know if it would have changed what you did drastically
Okay.
anyway, because, right? Like, don't you
I
think us
think
as like business owners, you kind of,
I think it
especially in the
depends.
early
I think it
days?
depends. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to look for the right information from the right person.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So someone that's everybody has a different experience.
Yeah.
You can have one
Absolutely.
location here
That's,
and the guy up the road is having a totally different experience. Right
yeah.
now, a lot of people are saying, hey, look, like it's not looking too good for restaurants right now. Things are looking slow. I
Yeah.
Mhm.
don't know what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not having that same, those same
Yeah.
feelings. But for
Right.
somebody else, it's totally real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm starting off and I'm going to seek information from the guy that's like kind of not, seeing like, oh, this is not working out,
Right.
what is he gonna tell me? He's like, bro, don't even do it.
Yeah.
Don't
It's gonna give
start
you
it,
the
right? But
negatives.
you
Yeah.
go talk to somebody that's having like this, like, a great experience. He's gonna just tell you all the good things, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I never seen anybody, no one's gonna say negative things if they're not if they're not in a bad position.
Yeah.
If you're in a
Mhm.
good position, like all you speak is
It's
positive.
positive.
You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
bro, it's good out here, man.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. Like I'm able to do this and that, and
Yeah.
things are going great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're gonna say, hey, look, man, like, yes, you got to do all these things and it's going to be a little hard and it's going to take time, but you'll get here and it's going to be good on this side, as opposed
Yeah.
to like, hey, look, you're going to have to do all this, it's going to suck, and then when you get here it's going to suck even more,
Right.
and then you're like, all right, I'm not going to do
I
it.
think the best advice that we've always gotten is like the pros and the cons
Hmm.
about it. And then because we technically, we're not going to be the ones making the decision.
Hmm.
So hearing pros and cons from businesses, I think has helped us make our own
Yeah. I
decision.
mean, I'll be honest with you. In the beginning, I understand what you're saying. Like, I guess, listen, if you don't ask, you'll never know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But any at that time, especially when we were starting, like we had
Oh my
no clue what
goodness.
the hell we were doing. So
Yeah.
we didn't even know who to go or where, because it was such a different,
There wasn't a
there
lot
wasn't a
of
lot.
juice
Yeah.
bars and
Mhm.
smoothie
But
bars
That makes sense.
around.
but
Yeah.
anybody we told about it, they would say like, "Oh, you guys are crazy. It'll
Yeah.
never work
Hmm.
here. It'll never work here." So in my head, I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't stand when
Yeah.
people just are so negative and they say, "Oh, that's not gonna work. It'll never work here.
But see,
This
I don't
won't
think
work
those
here."
were the right people because
Yeah.
a lot of them weren't even business
No,
Well,
owners,
there you
I
go.
mean,
So
yeah.
that's,
That's
It's
literally the thing that
it's a
it's like,
little
where are you
different
getting
now.
the information from?
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
I was telling my brother, um, don't ever talk about business to somebody that's not in
In
business.
business,
And then the
yes.
second thing is like, don't talk about business with someone that's like in a smaller doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about the people that if you, let's just take for instance a restaurant. If you
Yeah.
have one restaurant and you're trying to continue on and open up multiple, talk to the guys that have 3 or 5 or 6 or 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't talk to, you know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
only
as
has
far as like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking for answers,
Answers,
right?
yeah.
So it's super important to filter out and always be aware of like, where's the information coming from? Because, like I said, it's like, if you're going to talk to, for instance, your parents, and you say, and
Hmm.
your parents have never been business owners, let's say, and you say, I have this great idea,
Okay.
and your parents are in the, position of trying to protect you. If
Yeah.
all they heard about business is negative and how much you're going to suffer, what are they going to say? Hey, look,
They're
son,
gonna
Right.
like,
tell you the same
don't
thing.
even get yourself
Yeah.
into it, because I don't want to
Yeah.
see you suffer, because I love you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But and instead you're taking it as like, when you're younger, it's really tough to like, understand these things. When you're
Yeah.
older, it's easy and you see it for what it is,
Yeah.
right? So when you're younger, you're like, oh, nobody supports me, none of my friends, use those as driving factors to like push you.
Yep.
But
Hmm.
then afterwards you're like, you know what, like, they shouldn't support me because they're just trying to like give me, to the best of what they think, like the good advice. They're
Yeah.
giving you good advice.
Right.
They're not hating on you. You
No.
know what I'm saying? They're just like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't want you to
They're
suffer. And
just worried.
yeah, they're just worried about you.
Of
You know
Yeah.
what
course.
I'm saying? So
That's a good way to look at
yeah, that's how I
it.
look at it now. But in the beginning,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, everybody thinks, it's tough starting off. You know what I'm saying? Like I
It's
said, like
definitely a lonely road.
it's
Oh
a
man.
lonely road. And when I got the truck, like taking it home from from Pennsylvania that day, and the sign said like, I think it was like Fat Joe's hot dogs, and then you're rolling up, and people in Danbury are seeing this and they're like, what is this
What
Yeah.
are
guy
you doing?
doing,
So
man?
you got the trailer and you had no idea what you were actually gonna do with
No
it.
idea. Just like,
Okay.
and that's important to know is like
Yeah.
nobody knows what they're doing.
No.
I
Nobody.
remind myself, and I'm talking. This is just like in life in general.
Yeah.
Everybody is just winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Something stick, others don't.
exactly, and
But you have to keep going that like that though, because I just feel like everyone is so stressed out today.
mhm,
Everyone, like, especially like I say this all the time, like these kids nowadays with, going to school and everything, and they don't know what they're doing, and it's like you ask them. I just met somebody yesterday too, and she's going to school, and then I was like, so what's your major? She's like, I have no idea, but I'm
Mhm.
just winging it. But I'm so stressed out. I'm trying to figure out at that age, like everyone is right now is it's just so stressed out. Like I always say, just it will happen. No matter, as long as you're doing something and you have a
yeah,
vision you'll figure it out.
yeah,
Like
Mhm.
basically, I mean, look, you want to bought a trailer without
With no
knowing with no
no
plan.
plan,
plan,
yeah,
nothing.
no
You're like, you
plan.
know
Yeah.
what? I'm just gonna. So
Mhm.
you just woke up one day and you're
From one Craigslist post, yeah,
Yeah.
and then one
And you
day
were just random on Craigslist trying to
it was
figure
like
something
let's
out.
just say October 1st, 2015.
Yeah.
Through conversation, the idea of a food trailer came up. I sat with it for maybe 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and I had saved up. Let's just say back then, I don't know, maybe I had like 20 grand worth of savings. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
yeah.
And the trailer was like 9 or 10.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I went there, drove 4.5 hours. I saw it. 2 days later, I was like, look, man, I'm gonna come back and pick it up. I picked it up. I hauled it from Pennsylvania 4 hours away with a Toyota 4Runner that's not built to haul a trailer. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like
wow.
with no mirrors and
Just
no connection, no like brake lights or no nothing. Like you don't
Yeah.
know anything. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
S
But you
um,
got it there.
but yeah, because like sometimes like you gotta purposely put yourself in a tight spot
Yep.
so you can just
Mhm.
see yourself out of it.
So you were doing bartending at this time still,
Yeah.
or so you were just still continuing with that? And then how did the idea come
Yeah, how was that
with?
brainstorming?
So back to picking up the trailer, we woke up early that day. I had to do a shift in Stanford that day. So I have a picture of where the trailer is actually parked downtown Stanford. So I picked up the trailer, drove it to Stanford, parked it there, went to do my shift,
Yeah.
and then drove it home that night.
Yeah,
Okay. So like that was still like, bartending heavy.
Mhm.
And then the rice and beans name, through conversation, like it was brought up. As far as everything else, it took a while. It almost took like 8 months, to be honest with you, to open that up. It shouldn't take that long, but
eight
everything
months.
takes 8 months.
But
Yeah,
you were also trying to develop your menu and everything else, and you didn't even know what you were
I had no
doing.
idea, zero knowledge, not 1%. I'm talking about zero knowledge of anything. You know what I'm saying? So everything took forever because you don't know anything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
You don't even know like what's the first step. I think I went to City Hall the first time. It was like, hey, look, I'm trying to open a business. What do I do first? And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
well, do you have this? And I'm like, no. So then they're like, all right, go here. And then you go there. And then you go there.
they just move you
And then they
around.
move you
Yeah.
around. And
Yep,
you sometimes you get misinformation.
yep.
Right.
And then you're like, some things they told you to do, you don't have to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Then luckily, like an old buddy of mine, he used to work at Mazzone. He was the cook there. And through passing, I think I was riding my bike down Main Street and he was walking or something, or maybe it
Mhm.
was the opposite. But I was like, hey man, I haven't seen you in a long time. Look, I got this trailer. Like, can you help me cook something or whatever?
Do
Like, you
something.
come over and look at it. And
Yeah.
we talked about it in there. And then he was like, yeah, just serve like, let's do some rice, let's do some beans and, whatever. So,
Yeah.
and he was working at a deli at that time. So, anyway, how I started was I paid a branding company too. That's one thing
Mhm.
that I did. It was Box 8. They're out of New Haven. Now they
Yep,
do like
thanks for young.
biggers,
Yep.
so I did pay them. It was a lot of money back, even, back then for me, it was a lot of money, but
Yeah.
I think it was worth it, because I wouldn't be able to come up with all that
Yeah,
they
the
did,
branding
and the
was
branding the
That
branding is
branding
important, yeah.
was just
Because
amazing.
I was like, I want a black trailer with white letters. He was like, you're gonna open up a tattoo trailer? I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it. He's like, yo, leave it yellow, because the trailer was already yellow.
yeah,
Right.
He's like, leave it yellow, and they just put some decals on it, and that
Right.
turned out to be like the theme. It's like you see a yellow,
yeah,
and yellow makes you happy,
yeah.
It
right? It
does.
creates
Yeah.
like a nice feel. So, we got the branding all done, and then day one was in Norwalk, late night. with a broken down generator, loud as hell.
Yeah.
And from then on, you know, you start learning like, oh, maybe I should try this or whatever. But I ended up on 30 Main Street. And my brother was one of my first employees. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
used to, I think my first day in sales down there was like $40 maybe. I don't
Yeah.
even know. And back then I wasn't even aware that I was losing money.
Yeah, did you
Like,
have to get a permit to be there, or you just, like,
yeah.
were able to just
hmm
park?
Yeah. So I got the permit from City Hall, and then Mark Nolan, he owns the building 30 Main Street, that Newtown Savings Bank building. He was like, hey,
Okay.
look, if you want to park back there, like just do it for free.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's where I was, most people, like the very beginning of like Rice and Beans was like there on 30 Main Street, you know
Were
what I'm
you
saying?
prepping and cooking in the trailer?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges of
Yeah.
of having like a food truck and not having a kitchen. Is like my
Yes.
refrigerator was like this big, so I would have to go to Seatown every morning, every single morning,
Yeah.
and then cook everything. And then by the time it's 12 o'clock to open up for lunch, then everything would be done. And then you pray that you get through everything.
Yeah.
If not, you
Right.
got to throw it out. You
Throw
don't
it
have
out, yeah.
refrigeration.
Yeah.
So you at again at that point, that's how I would do it. It's like every morning I had to buy everything, cook it. Hopefully by 12 it's all set, and then we can sell, and then hopefully you sell out. You
Yeah.
almost purposely want to sell out because you can't keep it
Can't
around. You
afford
don't have the
either.
You're gonna
refrigeration,
Yeah.
you're
I
gonna
think
throw
that
it
was
out.
one of my biggest challenges throughout the whole, 4 years that I was operating the truck.
How did you figure out how much to prep for the day, especially in those early
You over
days?
prep in the beginning,
Yeah,
and you're
and
like,
then
super excited, like, oh man,
I'm gonna
like
sell
I'm gonna
everything.
sell everything. This is gonna be great. And then you soon come to realize like people don't even know that you're there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
how do you tell? So then that's why the Instagram thing, we were pushing it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And again, it's not because it was cool. It's just out of necessity. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I have to post. I have to make sure you guys know where I'm at tomorrow because it's important. Like I need to make money.
Money,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So even in the days that you don't want to post, even in the days where you don't want to make a funny video and you're
Yeah.
like putting yourself out there, it's just simply because like it works, it brings people in. So you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Think about it. You gotta prep, you gotta, cook,
And you
gotta
gotta
do
still be
everything.
your
and then you
social
got to be
media
an Instagram
And
marketer.
star.
Instagram, it's
Oh
like
man,
you
I
have
was like,
so many hats. that
literally,
you
like you're
just-
wiping your face. You're like, all right, do I look sweaty? It's like, all right, just take a video of me like saying, so I can say, hey guys, we're here today. Like, come out, da da da, and then
Did you
get
do it yourself, or did you keep Box 8 to do all that for you
just the
too?
branding. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All everything else, we would just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Like everything, even let's say we ended lunch at 3 o'clock at Kennedy Park, and then went shopping. Around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be like, hey, look, we have to go to Kennedy Park and take a video. And
Yeah.
and then post it so that tomorrow
You
you're
have
almost
that.
guaranteed
So
customers.
you would drive there just to shoot a video.
Yeah.
To make sure.
Mhm.
See?
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
And
that
you have to do like, again, it's because like you need it.
you need it.
And when you need something, you just like, there's no
Yep.
question. You're
Yeah.
tired, you're exhausted, you've been up since 5 in the morning. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
You got to do this because like it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? For your business. And also you got employees now at this time.
Yep.
Right.
So they got to make money too. So you got to, and that's the hardest part about the business is I was a traveling food truck. So
Mhm.
constantly having to, make it exciting is a whole nother
Mhm.
challenge on its own. Cause you're here one day, you're at Cardis, you're Newtown Road, you're there, you're in Portchester, you know what I'm saying? And people got to know you're coming. So
Did you do private events?
we did a lot of private events. Again, first year and second year, it's almost like you're just trying to establish reputation.
Yeah.
You need to get your name out there. And it's so hard. I was passing out flyers, I was knocking on doors, and you probably pass a flyer, it just gets thrown in the garbage. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And luckily, but you have to do it anyways, because
Yeah.
it's a game of numbers. You
Mhm.
go to 100 places, at least 2 are gonna call you back.
Yeah.
And those 2 might be the places where you kill it for lunch.
Right.
Okay. So you know, once you're able, once you have a customer base, and that's how it works in any business, is like
Mhm.
Yep.
you need a customer base. People got to try your food and then
Yeah.
they return. You know what I'm saying? So your mission is just like that's why people give away free food in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because then you can, here you go, guys, here's 1,000 free bowls.
Yeah.
And now you're hooked. And now I can get you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
people are like, oh, these businesses give away free stuff, it's like, yeah, it's a strategy behind it.
It
Yep.
is. It's
So,
marketing.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
marketing. So then year 3, year 4, just at that point, you can't, now you're like, oh, do I need a second food truck? Because now you're getting inquiries for parties. Come to my complex,
bigger,
come to
yeah.
this, come to that, But then again, with the truck, most truck owners know it's like there's only so much you can do out of I had a 10 by 10 space. So
Yeah.
10, little box.
At what point did you feel like oh, this is working? How long did that take?
2 years,
2
at least two
years.
years. You know, my
Okay.
first year, I already had my main up that I was like, you know what, like you're gonna see this through. Like,
Mhm.
and my thing was like at least 2 years. Like I
Yeah.
was like, you know, I know I can, you know, at some point I'm doing all the right things. Like this has to work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You
Um,
got to give it
you
time.
got to give it time, yeah.
Everything,
So
it's
luckily I
nothing
gave it,
happens right
you know, I
away.
gave it time and it worked out. And then the food truck thing just became, you know, it was a lot of work. I would say, I would even argue some people being a partner in 3 restaurants is easier than owning a food truck. That's my
Really?
opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
As far as like my quality of life is
See,
Yeah.
super
that's
I
different.
guess
something
we'll
that
have to
people
talk to you after
Hmm.
this
Yeah.
since we have a
people
little
have to
Boost
know
Balls
about these
trailer
Yeah.
things
coming.
because
It
everyone
does.
thinks it's like, oh, and especially nowadays you hear like, oh, the food truck business is booming and this and that,
Hmm.
but they don't realize how much work there's in it
Behind the
because because
scenes.
you have to drive to places, you have
Hmm.
to get permits, you have to do
Were
this.
you
There's
doing all that on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All on my own. I would say one point that I want to make is like it is good to have trucks when you have a location already, because I used to work for a guy, and he had two super successful taco places here in Connecticut, and
Mhm.
they had food trucks
yeah,
and they would do parties and they would do events, and it was the logistics were so easy. Like the truck lived at the restaurant,
Yeah.
right?
they
They already
prep.
had the kitchen,
Yeah,
they had the manager, they had a front of house staff. So basically, like sometimes they would schedule you to as a server,
yeah,
because I used to serve there as on the truck. So
Yeah.
like, all right, the kitchen staff, they just knew they had to prep a little extra. They loaded the truck. By the time it was time for the event, the manager would just drive the truck down the street or down to
yeah,
the other
Yeah.
town, and that was it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's the hardest part is like, you know, when you don't have that, is the refrigeration, the staffing, you know, all those things.
Yeah.
So I would say that it definitely is lucrative when you already have, you know,
yeah.
the
A
I
staff
hear
and
you.
all
storefront or
that stuff. Yeah,
something.
for sure. It
Yeah.
was super. I saw how easy it was for them, you know. And then what? The truck comes back home, and then you get the cleaning lady, the dishwashers to clean it
Right.
Yeah,
up.
to clean it up and
You know
you're
what I'm
good to
saying?
go.
Whereas before, I would have to be, or
You
Doing
were
as
everything.
we
everything.
were, you
Yeah.
know, we were cleaning it, and then again next
So
Prepping and
day.
so now
cooking.
now I understand you because I was so mad at you when you
Hmm.
stopped doing that and I was like, man, this guy just
I
had
will.
like I
Yeah.
remember at the early days when we had Bethel. I mean, well,
Yeah.
we still have
Hmm.
Bethel, but you would come there and I just loved
Your
Hmm.
branding
that
was
branding and
just.
everything. I'm like, man, and I could see it. Like I'm like, I want to see this thing like
It blew
Lily.
up.
I think
Yeah.
I remember at
Yeah.
one point I'm like, hey, listen, if you
If
need
you
an
don't do it, I
investor,
remember that.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you don't do this,
I'm gonna
like
do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'm
do
gonna
it
do it.
because
Yeah.
it was like I could see it everywhere. I was like, we can
Hmm.
open some stores.
Hmm.
It was a great concept too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
To me, it just seemed like easy because it was just basically like if when you go to Minas,
Yeah.
that place is a gold mine.
That place kills it.
I'll
Yeah.
say they
Hmm.
kill it.
Yeah.
And yours was kind of like similar,
Hmm.
but it was just rice and beans. I was like, if you keep it simple like
Hmm.
that and you just do it, I could see it everywhere.
And I think we always love the quick service part
Hmm.
of the
Yeah,
restaurant.
Yeah,
Like
we
I
were
think
able to push out a lot of volume. You know,
yeah,
some
because we
people don't.
can't, like, I don't know. I think for us, it's hard to imagine like a restaurant concept just because we like our hours.
Hmm.
yeah,
The thought of being somewhere till like 2 a.m.
Hmm.
Because I'm like, worst case scenario, everybody calls out. You can open and close without a problem.
Yeah.
With a restaurant, I'm like, wow, that
you got
seems
to be
like a
there all
lot,
day.
Yeah.
And then dealing with chefs and
But
everything
that
else.
was a thing for me. But you see, like I said, it's I mean, I understand you
Hmm.
now, like,
Yeah.
but I was so angry. I was like, why is this guy leaving a successful business that he just built to go work to give himself like all this
It's like almost
headaches
start all over.
now,
Yeah. It's
start
almost like
all
start all over.
over
Yeah.
on
And that's essentially what we did, is like start all over again.
So
Hmm.
why? Actually, that's a great question.
That is a great
let's get to
question,
that.
you know. But I mean, the rice and bean thing is still on the table. You know what I'm saying? And I told
Okay.
my brother, I was telling him, I was like, if you want to open up, we'll do it together.
Do
You
you
know what I'm
still
saying?
have the trailer?
I sold the trailer, but it's not, you know,
It's
the
not a big
Instagram and all
deal.
that stuff.
We don't
Like,
need the
you know,
trailer. Let's just do a small
we
like.
could,
Listen,
yeah.
I'll go in
Hmm.
with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I think it's a great
Hmm.
concept. We can,
I think so too. I still think about it, and people still bring it up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's been, you know, maybe 5 years since the last time I've ever sold a bowl. You know what I mean? But,
I can't believe it's been that
hmm,
long.
yeah,
It's
been about
crazy how
five
time
years, but
flies.
So how long did you do it for?
4 years.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then what was the like, I'm done with this moment?
The breakthrough moment, or the breakdown moment, was, I remember I was selling at Crown Point. So I was at Crown Point Apartments over there by Exit 2. And that day was just, it was just one of those days. You know what I'm saying? It was a Sunday. I've been pushing all week. and it was busy that day, and we was running out of stuff. I think somebody had, I guess called out, and I was short staffed, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And
Mhm.
I think, you know, I actually like expressed that. I like kind of said it out loud. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing this anymore. Like,
Right.
this is it. Like, I'm done.
I'm
You
done.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, that's when I realized, all right, again, I got to make a change. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was like, because this is all great and all, right?
Mhm.
But just the quality of life I was having just wasn't good.
Right.
I was like, I couldn't maintain this. I couldn't maintain, keep pushing the ball, you know what I'm saying? Keep the hype up, keep this. Like, I was like, this is like, it's a lot, you know what I mean?
Right.
And if you, with the truck, it's like, yes, the margins are great, but the sales aren't astronomical. So
Mhm.
you can pay somebody to do what you do, but then now your profit is now,
Profit
And
isn't
then
gonna
is
be
it
it's,
there.
worth
it's,
the headache,
it's
right?
not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What was the most amount of bowls you sold in a day, you think,
in a
roughly?
day, it's gotta be like 600. I think
Wow.
600. Yeah.
Six hundred
Out of
Yeah.
a
bowls
Yeah. It
trailer.
was
How
on
do
a
you
on a
Friday
10x10 trailer.
out of a 10 by 10 trailer. And I got to break it down for you because, like, sometimes, like, no one's going to
No,
believe
this
it.
is good.
Well, I think sales is different because the most amount of sales we did was when we had like 3 private parties back to back. And that was like, we executed it perfectly on the
Yeah.
customer standpoint, but it was like hectic. It was all day 3 parties, but big parties. And then the bowls is basically, we used to drive to Portchester to,
Mhm.
it's like off of exits 2 or something, right before the Hutchinson Parkway. And we used to go to this big a building, with had like a bunch of offices, and they would have food trucks, like 4, right? So it was
Mhm.
like a
Yeah.
circle, and every front door of the entrance to the building had a food truck parked in it, right? So it was 4 food trucks scheduled every Friday for lunch, and I was lucky enough to be there. So we would do around like 200 bowls for lunch there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because the building had thousands of people in it.
Wow.
And it's a
Yeah.
game of numbers with the truck. It's like you could have 500 people in your building, but I'm hoping for 10% of that. So that's
Right.
50. So whenever somebody would say, "Hey, come to my building," I'm like, "How many people you have in there?" They're like, "Oh, I have 80." I'm like, "All right, well, not
Mhm.
80 is gonna come and eat from my truck, maybe 20."
Yeah.
Right. So I'm
Right.
like, "Hey, look, like that sounds great. I appreciate you reaching out, but it's just not gonna work out for us, you know."
Right.
So we would have heavy lunches like that, break down, and then go to Bethel. The municipal center is where you would see the line of, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it would
Mhm.
never end. And at that point, it's just like, in the 3 hour span of time, you have unlimited customers essentially.
Mhm.
So we would do over 300 bowls, and we would even have, like, I don't know if you guys remember, we would have like a little counter,
How did
Mhm.
you get enough supplies to feed that
300.
a
six
bunch of
hundred bowls?
cooler,
Yeah.
and that's why, like, just keeping the, it's just 10 rice cookers of rice,
Oh my
okay, like 30
God.
orders each,
Yeah.
3 generators, a huge pot of beans, you know what I'm saying? That would have like 300 scoops. So in the meantime, like, all right, we finished lunch in Portchester. Let's put the pot of beans on the stove, get it cooking for dinner time. You know what I'm saying? Because it took a
Yeah.
long time. And then also, luckily, my friend that owns the deli, CNC Deli, he would help me and be like, "Look, man, on your way here, I got 30 quarts of beef that
Bean.
are
Yeah.
cooked, and then you can finish off cooking it the rest." So I would give myself an hour times what got to
Yeah.
Bethel, give myself an hour to cook everything and get
That
ready. It was a lot of pressure.
that
It's a lot of
seems
pressure.
hectic. Now that you're
Yeah.
telling
It's
me
a
all
lot
this,
of
I'm like,
pressure,
I
man.
don't know if
Like
I could.
bounce it's
Mhm.
it's different. It's
Yeah.
totally,
I
like
mean,
you said,
Yeah.
he
it's
didn't
a
have
lot of
the
work.
It's a
storefront at that point.
Yeah.
So going back and
mhm.
forth, like I can't even
No,
imagine
it's
that.
it's 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 a lot of work. That's why, it's
Mm.
I wouldn't recommend it unless somebody is like
Yeah.
really, because it does involve a lot of time,
You got to
Yeah.
be into it.
you got to be into it,
Yeah.
and that's the
Well,
more you
hey,
put into it, the bigger the result.
you
And
pushed
just
that for 4
mhm.
years.
Yeah, I
I give
pushed
you
it. I was
props,
pushing it.
man.
Yeah,
Like that's
What
that's
about
crazy.
actual events?
those were
Did those
great.
make sense?
It depends. The first couple years you do events, and like they don't
Yeah.
do they tank. You know what
I
I'm
think we
saying?
went to a Stanford one that you had. That was really
Yep. The
cool.
Stanford. I would try to, like, again, consistently get the name out there, and just
Yeah.
push it. We would go out 6 days a week, right? And then on
Yeah.
Sundays or Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we would do like a double, which means like you're either at an event all day from like you open up at 10:30 to 10 p.m.
Right.
or at a brewery all day, or on Friday you're doing a lunch and a dinner. During the week, if you're lucky enough, you can have a lunch
Were you allowed
scheduled.
to leave and prep or anything, or you just did
Everything had to
everything there?
be there. You had to
There.
show
Yeah.
up there,
And just do
early
everything.
enough to they tell you where to park, and then you have to have all your stuff. Sometimes you
Yeah.
send somebody else out and be like, "Yo, go get some more of this
Yeah.
and come back,"
Yeah.
But it definitely is like you're constantly like scrambling to like, especially if you're trying to do those type of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you have like a competitive mindset, you're always trying to push the limits. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Of
saying?
Like
And
I
course.
did
so
600 ready for
yeah,
that
it's like let's
1200.
yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what like keeps you in the game. Same,
Yeah.
it's like you get it's like a reward. You know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
be able to like, oh, I did this. Like we can do this, we could do that. And the same thing with the restaurants. I'm like, if we could do one, you could do two. If you could do two, you
See?
could do
Yeah.
three, and
See?
then so on and so forth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Well, let's talk a little bit
How
like
did
so
what was the
now.
first? Yeah, the
Yeah,
restaurant,
you get
bodega,
into
right?
Bottega, yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea, like simple. One day, like I said, it was like I got to make a change. And I was bartending at Square One. A lot of people know me from there too.
Hmm.
Like I
Yep.
used to bartend at Square One during my off season from the truck. During the wintertime, I was there on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays.
Wow.
And they had a DJ, and it was like it was a crazy.
So you never
Yeah.
really stopped bartending all
No,
along. Yeah.
out of necessity. I can't just take a 6 months break, and I gotta pay my bills.
Entrepreneur.
So you gotta
Yeah.
do. You always gotta. At the end of the day,
You
it's
have
like
to
you
have a
gotta do what
backup.
makes sense for the present time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you
Hmm.
can't. Sure, you're gonna be this great guy in the future, or you're gonna be this or that, but like, what's reality now? Take care of what's happening now. You're
Hmm.
gonna get to where you're saying, but you still gotta take care of like where you're at right now, and you also have to make sure that you remember where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Don't
Hmm.
confuse yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have these huge dreams, but like, what's happening now? This is reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I would bartend at Square One, and then I saved up some money, and I was able to, to think like, all right, maybe I should open up like a small rice and beans. That was the first intention, was like, let me just
Hmm.
open up a small. I just wanted anything. It didn't
Anything.
matter if it was like the smallest place on the planet. I just did not want to be traveling to chase customers anymore.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted the customers to come to me, and that's all I wanted. That was the first thought. It wasn't all like laid out in my head like I want to do this or that. So,
Yeah.
I was through bartending and stuff like that, and my partner, he owns Square One, so I was like, hey, look, like I'm looking to do this, like, and I want to do a location, like, and at that time, I didn't know how much a location costs. I just knew it cost a lot of money. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I was
Hmm.
like, maybe I need a partner, right?
Hmm.
Maybe I need somebody to help me out and share the risk with. So, long story short, he agreed, to be my partner, and then we were looking for locations. It took about a year to finally, stumble upon Bottega. And we played with the rice and bean idea there, but then we decided it was risottos for 15 years. So we decided to keep it that, but just remodel the whole place and then
Right.
make it something new. And Bottega treated us well, you know what I'm saying? So, again, I was just grateful that like, wow, after all this time, you're finally able to step into a restaurant
Restaurant.
and
Yeah. And
say
at
that
least be
it's
there.
yours. Yeah, that to me was like huge, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, um, and,
Did you,
and,
sorry to interrupt, did you
mhm.
stop rice and beans right away?
I was still doing some events while we were building out the
Hmm.
restaurant. This was during COVID times, you know what I'm saying? So we were
Hmm.
halfway done with the project, and then the whole COVID thing happened. And then, so I was like, all right,
Yeah, I remember that
mhm.
time because you guys were building
We were
at
building,
the.
we were
We were
halfway
doing the
We were
done.
same thing
building
in
Newtown.
Newtown.
Yeah, we were halfway done, and you're out of money, and now they're saying that restaurants are done. So
Yep.
it's like, all right, you either go
You're like,
back or you
what
keep
the
going
fuck do
forward.
I do now?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
my
just
So
God.
we opened up, and that was the time where 50% capacity or whatever it was. And we got through that period, and things were great. So then that's when we decided to keep it going. And like I said, luckily,
see through that all those hard times, you still didn't give up.
mhm,
Hmm.
That's why we call. That's where people need to understand how entrepreneurs work because everybody thinks they're entrepreneurs, but they don't understand the hustle and the risks you got to take
mhm,
to get to where you need to be. No matter what it is, no matter what brings, because it's gonna happen. And I mean, think about it. Like you guys were just building, and we were doing it the same thing
Hmm.
at the same time, basically, like building a store. And everybody's like, "Oh, restaurants are done."
done. Yeah,
Like
you're
you
done.
know, but in our head, what did we do? We didn't give up. I wasn't even like I would block that noise. I'm like, I don't care.
It was scary.
I
Yeah,
It
was
was
yeah,
really
definitely
but I
scary.
was
Yeah.
scary.
still like,
Mhm.
listen, you know what? I got to build this wall tomorrow. Like that's what I was doing. I
Yeah.
didn't give a shit.
I
And
think
I
that's
had
what the best kind of entrepreneurs do. Is like they don't. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, there's outside factors that can affect, but at the end of the day, it's like some people, like some businesses, don't even worry about what's happening outside. They're like, this is the plan
You
and this is what we're
can.
sticking
You
to.
you got to stick to the plan. You got to
Mhm.
keep going. It is what it is. I lost all my employees in
Mhm.
my other locations, and I'm running around from one
Yeah.
place to another. Put my mother to work.
Mhm.
Put like basically family, whatever I can get in there. And believe it or not, like the
Survival
stores
mode.
were still, they were doing great
Yeah.
because even though people couldn't come
People
in,
got busier during those
oh,
times.
It
it was
did.
one of the
I
best
think
Yeah.
times
the
for
People
us.
first
got,
month
yeah.
or two was
It was a
definitely
little tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
But then once it
Yeah.
adjusted, you're like, wow,
I
this
think
is good.
that
It was
the
actually less
story,
stressful.
yeah, the story of like misery. I think some people kept that going, but that wasn't what's really happening.
It
I
Yeah.
wasn't,
saw a lot
and
of people thriving during that time.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
it was great for us because they couldn't go anywhere, and
Mhm.
food. People just wanted food, bro.
And now we actually didn't have to deal with people in the stores.
Remember,
So,
that Bethel strip that's there, like
yeah,
basically in front of
Mhm.
our store. There would be
Lines of
cars lined
cars.
up waiting, and
to
we were
just
just,
curbside.
yeah, just
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
curbside. And I would sit there, I'm like, what are these people doing?
yeah.
Like, do they know what's happening? I had no staff, and we're just
Mhm.
running
Mhm.
around. My
Mhm.
mother's like, just keep going. I'm
Mhm.
like, fuck all this. I'm tired. Like, I
Yeah,
just want to go home and
yeah.
sleep like everybody else.
Mhm.
And she would be like, just, listen, we're making money.
Yeah.
Just keep going, keep going.
Mhm.
And then I'm thinking, like, we have the other store. I have builders there. They're being built. They're calling me left and
Mhm.
right. My other location in
Southbury.
Southbury.
Southbury, the movie theater shuts
Mhm.
down,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and the landlord doesn't let me close. He's like,
Yeah.
well, not that he didn't let me close. He's just like, listen, you can still stay
Stay
open.
open.
I'm like, how am I
Mhm.
going to stay open? I'm inside a movie theater.
Yeah.
So they would open
Mhm.
the movie theater just for us. And we would
Mhm.
get probably maybe like 30, 40 people
Yeah.
a day, like the
Mhm.
locals that knew we were
Yeah.
there. It wasn't doing anything. And I'm just
Mhm.
like,
That one was tough.
it
Yeah.
The
was,
storefront, like
it was a
Bethel,
shit
never
show.
really took
Yeah.
a hit.
It's
Like that
hard,
just
man.
went
It's
up.
hard.
It
Those
was a
times are hard.
shit
Those
show
times
at
are
that
hard.
time. Like it was good. It was bad, and it was
Mhm.
good, and it was just, it was a
It
mess.
was
But
such a
hey, like,
mess.
listen,
Yeah.
we made it through.
Mhm.
So many people gave up. So many people, like, did so many things
Mhm.
that just kind of like said, hey, nothing's gonna work. But
Right.
the people that stayed
They're
survived.
still around. Yeah.
They're
And
still
and,
Right.
and
around.
they're, some of them are still some of them grew from
Yeah,
that. You
Right.
know what I mean?
When did
yeah.
you open Bodega? What month was that?
September
Okay.
of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, September of 2020. Yeah.
Wow, right
That's
there.
tough, yeah,
So we
right
did
there.
October
Yeah,
2020. Yeah.
Okay.
at the
Yeah, I
same,
mean,
basically.
Yeah,
it almost feels like it never happened, but
it does. Yeah.
we're back to how things should be.
Yeah,
But then
Yeah.
now we're battling other things.
Right.
So it almost seems like it's always going to be a something.
There's always a
gonna
battle.
always
be
something.
something, and that's what people need to understand. Is no, stop making excuses,
Mhm.
because I always tell people, oh well, it's a slower time, or it's this, or people
Mhm.
are running out of money, or there's wars. Listen, there's always gonna
Always going to
be
be something. Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
One thing you got to do is just stay focused,
Mhm.
block the noise,
Yeah.
and just keep moving forward. If you
Adjust.
you got to
That's it.
adjust
Yeah.
with everything, like
Mhm.
everything that's happening. You need to adjust and just
Mhm.
keep thriving and keep going. You can't listen to any of the negative that's around you, because what people try to do is always try to throw you something to feed
Yeah.
you, and just to change
Mhm.
your mind.
Get you
So
off course a
get
little
you
And
off
bit.
it works,
course.
and it works. You got to be careful with that
Yeah,
stuff.
It
I say that
does.
to my staff all the time. It's like can't tolerate any negative talk in here because it spreads.
it
It's
spreads.
worse than anything you can possibly do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is just like feed somebody negative information is horrible. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It
It'll
is.
stick on you all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'll start losing your mind. You're like, oh wait, maybe he's right. Maybe he's seeing something I'm not. You're like,
Yeah.
damn, maybe this does suck. And you're like, wait a sec, no. What the
Yeah.
hell am I talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Nah, it's listen, it's a crazy world out there. We got to just keep going. We
Mhm.
got to
Yeah, it's like
keep doing our thing.
I think like us going back is like people that are speaking positive, like those are the ones that you want to surround yourself with because they're having a good experience in what they're doing.
Yep.
Let's talk
Mhm.
about business. Their business are thriving, they're gonna be speaking positive. If they're having a bad experience, they're gonna just spill negative and say
Yep.
this and this. It's the weather, it's the
Always
government, it's
excuses.
this, it's the traffic.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, it's not that. I'm sorry, man. Like you made a bad choice. You might have been in the wrong location.
Yeah.
And now it's your location.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with. So essentially, like first, I think the biggest thing is that you got to take accountability for everything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There is some things that you can't control. Let's say like the city decided to like block off all the roads around boost posts. Okay,
Right.
fine.
Which
That's
they
out of
do.
my control. That's out of my control. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But that's an extreme,
Right.
right? But as far as other
But hey,
things,
figure out how you can deliver down the road.
yeah, there's
You
We
always
know,
always
like-
there-
adjust. We always figure it
yeah,
out.
action always is better than just not doing anything. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like just
Yeah.
it's just that simple, right? When you try to complicate things, it's just a game of numbers.
Yeah.
whatever you put in, you get out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like no one's lucky, no one's this. Just simply somebody's just working harder than you,
Yeah.
and they just make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Everyone's got problems.
Mhm.
Everyone,
It is.
it's just
Yeah.
how you find a solution. Every problem's got a solution. So
Mhm.
you got to just figure out,
Fix it.
fix it.
So why the different concepts? Why not keep, since bodega was the first,
Mhm.
why not keep opening up a bodega
Yeah, that's a
style?
good question. I think our mentality is like, um, and I'll be honest with you, we're in this business to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think if I opened up a rice and beans, it's more than just the money. It's like a community,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in our case, we're two partners just looking to make money.
Yeah.
Right.
So whenever we get approached with a location or what have you from a realtor or somebody, um, we look at it and we decide, all right, well,
That area
Work here.
needs.
what would be the best outcome? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Would it be this? Would it be another wood
Mhm.
fireplace? Would it be a sports restaurant? Would it be barbecue? I don't know. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So you're taking that's how we approach it,
Mhm.
right? So maybe I think one thing is like when somebody has, let's say, a Bottega, for example,
Mhm.
and that was just astronomical, it like was booming and this, then you might consider like, hey, let's keep this thing going.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I think that's why people stick with one thing because the margins are great or
Mhm.
they saw something that they know they can scale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And just because you have something good, not everything is scalable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense because like
That's the truth.
you're not just going to or you can have a ton of money and just decide you want to have 5 of the same concepts that are kind of just doing average. You can do that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if you're really trying to, run a good business and make it make sense and it looks good on paper, like expense, sales, expenses, and profit, then you try to scale it. You're like, oh, let's have 10 of these or let's franchise this thing because like it makes sense. And anybody looking at it
Right.
on paper can be like, sure, I want one of those,
Yeah.
So that's our train of thought is how,
Yeah.
approaching things. So
I-
that's the same
I-
thing for Brookfield.
I guess
Right.
my question is, how are you managing like different concepts?
Mhm.
And different locations.
I mean, I get
and-
it. It's restaurant business, but it's not the same because
Yeah.
every different place might have probably a different cook
Mhm.
or like a chef or
Yeah.
whatever. So how are
Yeah.
you
Can you jump in
You
the
know,
kitchen if a chef
s-
calls
s-
out?
to
You
any
know,
place?
in the beginning, those are the thoughts you think. You're like in a Bottega, one thing that I would like to say is like I'm just super grateful that I was able to experience all this stuff, have failures, make mistakes, and still be in a good position. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I think that's one of like the blessings that I have right now is just
Mhm.
simply that. You know what I mean? Because opening a restaurant, luckily I had my partner and he had experience. He was already in the business for 10 years, so he was able to like give me some insight. But I didn't know what I was doing either. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I might have managed some staff, I might have bartended, I might have served, I cooked on the truck, but I didn't know what it was like managing a kitchen line or
Kitchen
how
line.
things should be plated or what things should taste like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a pro at this. I'm just
Right.
starting. You know what I'm saying? So I through Bottega, I was able to learn a lot of things. I was
Mhm.
able to learn like, oh, it's about the people. It's about, as long as you get the right people, then everything else just like falls into place a lot easier. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So as far as like in the present time, the way I do things is just simply trying to hire to the best of my ability. And obviously, like you're at the mercy of who you can hire, like whoever's around, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The best people you can. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're lucky enough. We have a great manager at Crafts. I have a guy in Bottega too that overlooks things, and then I like to fill in as a manager at Brookfield. It just makes things run smoother. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It makes me stay in the business, and now I'm like,
Are
you know,
you
And it's your
all the-
newest one.
Mhm.
Are you there all the time? Do you ever go?
yeah. I mean, I bounce around, but
Okay.
mostly on the weekends you'll see me in Brookfield. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I'm the fill-in manager. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So I like to fill that role and do it the right way, and also be a part-time manager at Bottega. And then if Danica needs me at Craft, then I'll be there for a party because we do private events there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother animal is having a private room.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and again, like it's just about who you hire and how you communicate things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important that the people that you hire, you tell them in a sense like how you got here, so they can and maybe relate with you, so then you can see how important this is to you, and also what kind of role they also play in your life, as
Yeah.
far as like, look, man, like this is how my day is, this is how I got to be where I'm at, and this is what I'm looking to do, going forward. So my expectations for you is to do this. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And if you can't do it, it's all good, but just communicate with me. You know what I'm
Communicate.
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So I think communication is a big thing. That's one of the things that recently I've been trying to work on, is like having more meetings with people, with the staff, and also not just having meetings about like what you guys are doing wrong. It's about
Mhm.
what are we doing right,
Right.
and how we can keep doing that right, and also talking about business, so they can get it a little bit more. Because like sometimes, like, you're an employee, you're in high school, you think like there's an abundance of product here, so if I
Mhm.
take a little bit, it's not that big of a deal, or if I give
Mhm.
away a little bit of this, not that big of a deal. But if I put it down on paper, say, hey guys, just so you know, it took 1 year to build this place out, this was the investment, and this is the goal, week to week, month by month, year to year. We need to make X amount of sales, minus payroll, minus this, minus this, minus this. What are we left with? And the other day I told everybody to pull out the calculator, and I was like, look, if we do this a week with all these fixed costs, what do we make? Sometimes you got to be real with people. It's okay to share information, because if
I,
there's 20 people in front of you,
I
one
like
person
that.
might
I
get it.
I think I
Mhm.
think that's where we're at too right now. Which we have our staff. Well, not our staff, our manager meetings,
Mhm.
and we talk. But I think that's the biggest issue, is like you're afraid to like share
You
numbers or
got,
things like
at the
that,
I
end of the
think we
day,
shared the basic,
which
but
they
then
already
it's
see.
like, yeah, but cost of good and labor, and that's
it's
not
it's
it.
like it's like, what is it? Does what I think we're all like paranoid, as far as like, what harm does it do that the guy up the street knows what I'm doing in sales? Like, what harm can
Yeah,
that
I mean,
do?
I don't
You
Right.
know what I'm
really.
saying?
Yeah.
Or like I said, it's like it's been this long, so now I'm like taking this approach, and it works, because
Okay.
I'm
Mhm.
like,
See, that's good to know.
it works. If
Mhm.
it wasn't working, then I'd be like, hey, look, but like some, even like high school kids get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, bro, X amount a week we did. This was the labor. This was the food. This is what we did in liquor. Are we ordering too much liquor? Should we be ordering liquor for the next 3 weeks? No, let's order
Yes.
liquor just for the week. Do you understand
Yeah.
what that means? Oh, okay, I get it now. So you're saying that just because we're gonna sell it doesn't mean that we have to hoard all this inventory. I'm like,
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
because
You're
that's
not.
all costs
It's
up
all, it's
front.
all front
Because
costs.
they
Exactly.
don't see like for them it's just ordering. That's how I have with my managers, because
Hmm.
they don't see like what's in it. They're just basically every week they're just
Yeah.
ordering whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to just stock up. I'm like,
Yeah.
No.
slow it
Mhm.
down a little bit, because do we really need, this
Especially
is
in the
what
like
But
slower
how
months
would you
like for
yeah,
know that?
us.
That's I try
they
to put
don't.
myself
Yeah.
in somebody else's shoes. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm talking to a high school person. I'm talking to somebody in their 20s. I'm talking to somebody in their 40s.
Yeah.
I need to communicate the the problem, right? The solution, and then also the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
So, and they have to actually get what I'm saying. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
So that's how somebody might understand, like, okay, so maybe because we have 3 sleeves of cups, I don't have to order a case. Maybe I could wait till next week, because
Yeah.
you know what? Just take a second look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying? Instead of just like ordering blindly. But I would say the old school way to do it is just to show up and just be mad about everything. That's I've worked for every single person,
That's me.
and they just show up and they're just mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my mission right now is
And it
Yes.
like,
doesn't
I think
work.
it
that's been
doesn't
my
It
work.
problem.
doesn't
It doesn't
work.
work,
It
because then you're
doesn't.
just getting them angry, and
You know
they're like,
what? It
Like,
works. This is one thing I was told, is like, being an asshole gets you what you want on the spot. Being nice gets you what you want over time. It's that
mm,
simple. It's like, and my mission is just to
I
like,
like that.
I just want to have a good day. So I'm like, how do I have a good day? How do I like all of my employees? How do I feel good about my relationship with the business? You know what I'm saying? So how do I do that? Do I need to be a better communicator? Is it going to involve a lot of energy?
mhm.
Get into it, because the result, and
Yeah.
it's working for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, one thing that I could say, it literally is working for me. I try to explain, even if it takes me 3 minutes, I'm like, look, 2 seconds, just a heads up. This is what's happening. This is why I'm doing it. This is why we should be doing it. And also, hey, this is why you shouldn't say no to the customer. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, the reason behind it is this. And he's like,
Mm,
Yeah.
I get it now. That makes sense. I'm like,
right.
cool. I'm like, but back in the day, they just yell at me.
Yeah.
Why would you do this? Why would you sit that table over there? And I'm just like, you're just
Yeah.
walking around like, and it's like, so I think at the end of the day, the way I see it is like, the owner decides the culture of the place.
Yeah.
Okay. The owner then hires the manager.
Yep.
Okay. The manager is now the voice of the owner.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's all the owner's fault. Like everything that happens in the building is the owner. Oh no, it's the staff, it's this, it's the manager. I'm like, no, it's you.
Mm.
You hired the manager. The
You trained
manager
them.
is you're taking the
Yep.
lead, right? He's taking your information. He's hiring staff. So if it's all messy in here, it ain't them.
It's
Like
Yeah.
it's you. You might
Yep.
be a crazy person.
Mhm.
And that's why it's crazy in here.
Damn, now I
Right.
feel like I'm the crazy
I'm just
person.
saying. That's just the way I like to self-reflect a lot and just be
No,
like,
you're
bro,
right.
I'm like, yo, Jay, what can you do? What can you do better?
Better, yeah.
Like that's my
Yeah.
mission is like, how do other people run 10 locations? And how do you
Mhm.
establish a culture? How can, and I think the best way is like to put myself in the same level of everybody else so they can at least relate with me. And I'm like, yo, guys,
Yeah.
like I'm like you. Like I was just bartending a couple years ago. Like
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
forget that. Like I was on a truck. Like you
Yep.
remember me
Yeah.
at Square One? I used
Yeah.
to serve you a drink and
Do
now
the
you're working
same
for
thing,
me.
yeah.
We're the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Same.
different about here. And it's like, I'm not here for the Benz. I'm here because I want money for my family. Like
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
how serious this is. You understand what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, I get it now. I was like, so when you say no to a customer, you're literally taking, food
Food.
out of my family's
My
plate.
family's
Like
plate,
that's how serious it is for me. They're like, oh, I get it now. I'm like, yeah. But if you see me like just, if I don't communicate to that to
Yeah.
you might not get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because not everybody's like,
And
that mindful.
everybody is totally different. So how you
Mhm.
communicate it to a high school person
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
different than the
Mhm.
30 and the 40-year-old.
I
So
try to use analogies. I'm
it's
like, look, you ever
just
saved up for like your first car? They're like, yeah. I'm like, how much was that? They're like, oh, like $5,000. I'm like, how hard was it to save up $5,000? They're like, oh, it's so hard. I'm like, all right, like, so if that's your car, right? Can I eat in your car? They're like, no, you can't eat in my car. I'm like, okay, so you're saying is like, what's yours is yours, and whatever rules you make for the car, like I have to abide by them. They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, so
Mhm.
this is exactly what we're in right
Exactly.
now.
What's the
I
difference?
was like, so when I tell you
Yeah.
not to put your Starbucks coffee on the whole stand, it's the same thing. They're like, oh, that
Oh,
makes
man.
sense. And I'm like, that's
The-
exactly
the
what it is.
stuff that
And
you
it
don't
helps.
think
They're like, oh,
everybody
the
deals
next time they think like, oh, Jay, my bad, dude. You're right, my bad. Instead of
Yeah.
like, so those little things, like, if somebody takes that away, like that really does help. And I've seen it, like,
yeah.
having these meetings, I literally would spend like an hour of just talking to them like a person.
Are you
Right.
talking to each place separately, or do you do it all together?
As of
Because, I mean,
recently
that's-
for the kitchen, again, I try to like put myself in their shoes. I'm like, if someone's giving me a message and they're saying, hey, Jay, you're not doing this correctly, I'm going to think it's just me.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's been like a month or so. I got the Bottega kitchen together and I got the Brookfield kitchen together. And I said, hey guys, look, we're here together. So I'm just speaking in general. I'm not
Yeah.
pointing anybody out, but these
Yeah.
are some of the things we got to work on. And these are and this is how we're going to do it together.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? As opposed to like someone getting emotional and feel like, oh, he's taking shots at me. And I'm
Oh
like, that's not how
yeah.
it works,
I mean, that happens
We
all the
get that
time in the
all the
restaurant. I
time.
think for us, we changed that too. A long time we would address people directly, but then you notice that if they're doing that, there's multiple other
Yeah.
people doing the
Mhm.
same thing.
Yeah.
So addressing things as a group has definitely helped
I
the
think
culture.
training is like the other thing that I try to focus on the most. Is like, I think it sounds crazy, but I told this the other day to somebody, I like to train every single person that I hire, like
Yeah.
personally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I train them for 2 days.
I'm
Even
the
if it's
same
my
way.
night off, like I show up and
Yep.
I'm the first person that they talk to for the first 2 days. And then I
Right.
pass you off to another team member because I'm going to establish the expectations and communicate it to you
Yep.
the right way.
Mhm.
And somebody might be like, oh, that's like not in a, how is that sustainable? I'm like, it doesn't matter what it's important.
For
And
now it
it's important.
works.
Exactly. For
Yeah.
now it works. Till you find somebody that could do the same thing.
I tell her,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, I don't think we're ever gonna find somebody. To be honest with you, as much as we try, because she always tells me, well, there's a reason why we have managers. Why don't you
Yeah.
let them train them? Why? I'm like, I want them to see the face of me at first, so I can
Yeah.
kind of explain. Because the way I explain things, and I've tried it before,
Mhm.
they just, like you said, I do it for like 2 days just so I can explain every like ins and outs and
Mhm.
why
The
are we here.
details.
Yeah.
And so they don't see it just because now we have multiple stores to think that like
We're
yeah,
chilling
I'm-
now.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
No.
Like,
This is
listen,
fragile. This
I'm
is fragile.
here.
It's like glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's like I put my heart and soul in this place.
Mhm.
I want you to understand that this is still a family business.
Yeah.
We're not just a corporate place where
Mhm.
like no one gives a
Yeah.
shit. And people
Yeah.
that come
Mhm.
in, I tell them like the person that walks in, the person that walks out, you say hi, how are you?
Mhm.
Have a great day. Like you make sure, I don't care what you're doing. If you're in the kitchen or whatever, you
Acknowledge
Yeah.
the
acknowledge
The
people.
them.
customer
Yeah.
is always like priority
It's the
over
main
everything. Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Or like, when they walk in and you're doing something and they feel like they put their head down. I'm like, listen, just acknowledge, even if you're busy. If you tell them, hey, I'll be right with you,
Mhm.
now you just engage with that person.
Yeah.
He'll sit and wait.
He'll be
But if you
patient. Yeah.
ignore them, what do you think he's gonna do?
I
Mhm.
mean,
Oh, no
think
one's
about
taking
how
care of
many
me. And
times like I've walked into places and that's how it felt. It's just like, hello, like,
Yeah.
does anybody see me? I
Mhm.
mean, I won't name
Mhm.
locations, but we just went somewhere, brand new
Mhm.
location. We walked in and there's no one. We're just like,
no one.
That's
Brand new
hello,
typical.
location.
Mhm.
what's
Like
going
no one was
on?
saying anything, and then they're
It's
just
all
sitting
We
it's
out of the
yeah,
kitchen.
it's
like
all
for
just
a good minute we
Yeah,
were in the
so
store
it's
and
the
we're
listen,
it's
just
it's
like,
the owner, man.
yeah,
Again, when we make
exactly.
mistakes, we have bad reviews or something. I'm like, it's me. I
Yep.
don't be like, it's
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't communicate this enough. Maybe,
right,
and it is what it is. It's okay. It's
yeah,
not like you're hard on yourself and
Yeah,
oh man, I suck. But it's like still like,
I
yeah,
hate those reviews too,
hmm
because it's like no matter what, sometimes though you can't please everybody.
no,
No
no.
matter how much
hmm
you try and you do, you're always gonna have that person. And I always like we had this talk before another podcast. It's like for you to take the time to go, why not just send me an email
Yeah.
or something and address this?
they
Let's see
I
don't
if we
think
can.
I
like,
think we trick ourselves because like if you serve in a restaurant, let's say like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 customers a day, what's one person like, you know
right,
what I mean? And we take it to heart. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what's really, what I'm saying? Like you went through all these people and just one person had a bad experience. Like,
yeah,
just let it be.
what's that? Was that
right.
1%? Like, you're not doing too bad, man. Like,
But
No.
I think what customers need to realize is I want to know if
mhm.
you had a bad
Yeah,
experience at my place.
yeah.
I think a lot of times they come in like attack
mhm,
mode and it's just like we're going to make mistakes. Like
Yeah.
we're not perfect.
But I also think the staff
Just
needs to know too. Like, yo, guys, like, be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody
yeah.
doesn't eat their burger, hey, man, is that good for you? Da da
Yeah,
da da da.
Can I
Like,
get you something?
can I
I
get you
don't
something
know.
else? Like,
figure out it's
consistently
not.
be on the lookout for
Yeah.
like protecting the integrity of the place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they also have to be given the right tools. Like, yo, if somebody doesn't like this is what you do next,
Yep.
and
Right.
then this, and then this, and then worst case, if you gauge the meter of how unhappy they are, just here's your whole dinner, man. Don't worry
Yeah.
about paying for dinner. It's all good. Look, I'm sorry about your
That's
experience today,
it.
but come back and it's all good. They're not
Yeah.
gonna say nothing bad. You know
No.
what? Because like at the end of the day, as a customer, you just want to be somebody that's paying attention. It's like, oh, they
Yes.
actually like someone's here watching. They don't know where it is,
Yeah.
but someone here is watching. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the staff has been told how to handle things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying? And you have to communicate everything to the staff, like literally everything. And
Right.
and you have to say, look, guys, like opening week, let's be
Yeah.
on the lookout for this. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Let's do this. Consistently, like being the captain of the ship is
Right.
also important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, for me, when people say like, oh, we're gonna wait for them to work out the kinks, and I'm
Mm.
like, these people are professionals. This is what they do for a living. There should be no kinks when you open up. I'm
Yep.
sorry to say that.
Yeah.
Somebody might not like that, but I'm like, in
No,
Brookfield,
I
it took
agree.
about 6 months to get our first bad review, and we were
Yeah.
doing like double sales, like crazy astronomical sales,
Right.
consistently busy, new staff, new kitchen staff, new customers. Every single person was their first day there
Yeah.
and not a hiccup. And I was like, how do you do that? Because you intend to do that.
Yep.
Right.
This is our intention. Like, hey guys, like, it's our first week. Like, let's get all scared.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, this is what we do for a living. We own
Right.
That's it.
multiple locations. Not one mistake today. You got that?
Mhm.
They go into the shift thinking that they're like, yeah, we on
You
point.
got
Like
it.
it's a
Yeah.
different type of energy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's one thing that I say is like you have to, as an owner, like really, really like be the one training people. Don't
Right.
leave it in the hands of somebody else. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
You
It doesn't
see?
work for a lot of people.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenge you feel like you've had, or, I don't like saying
Mhm.
failure, but just something that really hit hard?
I think one of the biggest challenges would be, let's get into this. Like, so one of the biggest challenges is like taking care of yourself in this
Mhm.
business. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was bartending, those were like my golden years. I
Mm.
had my shift, you know what I'm saying? I would go to the gym in the morning, go in the sauna. It was like
Yeah.
a great time, you know what I'm saying? And then once you're in this entrepreneurship, journey, in the very beginning, it's like you have to, there's a trade-off. And people say, oh, well, there's a balance. I'm like, look, man, like it's nearly impossible when you're trying to
Everything
start.
is a go, 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 go.
You're juggling. And then also now you have to pick, your time over the business time, but you also know the business is just actually more valuable at that time. So you decide you're going to stick with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, keeping your health is I think would be the most challenging thing up until now. Now things are a little bit different. I got my hands a grasp on things more than I used to. You know what I'm saying? When you start off, like, you feel like, oh, if I'm not around, like it's just the place is gonna catch fire, this and that. And then you're always like consistently like putting all this time in the business. And then after, like I said, if you're lucky enough to be able to then say, oh, well, what effect am I really having? When do I really need to be there? When is it? What should I be actually working on? And what are some of the things that are really not important? And even though they seem like, but what has a bigger effect? Because now you're just, you're battling time.
Yep.
Right? You only have X amount of hours during the day. And it's like, what should I be working on now? And getting used to like, all right, if I got to be we're building out a new location, like, do I have to be there half of the day?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a busy lunch in all these places? Am I going to worry about it? I'm purposely not. And I'm just going to be here and present because I got no control over that.
Yep.
And if I think about it, I'm going to put myself in the wrong state of mind. And it's going to make this a lot harder than it has to be.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
they'll figure it out.
They're going to figure it out because why? You hired them. They know what's up and they hustle and they're going to figure it out because you know what? We've only had like one instance where it's been crazy and it's like, oh, damn, somebody should have been there as an extra hand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but again, it's also good to feel that way because at least you care. So I do care. You know what I'm saying? I do care if there's only one server on for lunch and, I'm vigilant, looking at the cameras in case they might need some help or something like that. But
cameras. See?
Yeah, cameras
Not
are
the only one. It's all that's an obsession, man. I stopped. It used to drive me crazy because I would still go. And every time I went, when I was in there, I would find something wrong.
Yeah.
And it drove me insane. So now I'm just like, I honestly, I just go check. And that's all. Like, I try not to even look too long because things are going to happen.
Yeah, things are going to happen. And at the end of the day, it's like, what does the customer see?
Yeah.
It's like if somebody left a green rag over there, like I'm like, what if I'm a customer? Like if I walked into a space,
will it bother you?
It's like all I remember is like how I feel. So if somebody was nice, like you ask people like, hey, do you remember what the color of the ceiling was or the color of the walls?
My God.
They're like, nah, I don't.
You see this
I'm
stuff.
like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's actually important? It's like the people are important.
That's it.
Yeah.
A smile is important. Being checked on is huge when you like get your food and then 2 seconds later, hey, you guys good, right? You need more ketchup, da-da-da. You good? All right, cool. A little while goes by. Hey, you guys still good over here? Everything good?
Right.
That's like, that means everything. Cause like I tell my staff, I'm like, you know what the beauty about this? And I don't want to speak negative, but I'm like, everybody around here is mediocre. So you don't got to really try that hard. Like, let's just do a little extra and it'll set us apart.
Right.
It's not, I'm like, but if we were in the city where it's like everybody's on point, try being over there. You can't even compete. None of us in this area could compete with somebody in like a different area where it's like food, drinks, service, everything is on point. It's pristine. You know what I'm saying? That's a different level of pressure.
Right.
I was like, guys, all I'm asking you to do is like check in a little more.
Just check in.
And have a smile. And if somebody wants something, just give it to them.
Right.
It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like make people feel like if I came to your house, what would be the first thing you ask me? Like, oh, Jay, you want something to drink?
Yeah.
And then what about the next? Jay, everything good? So that's exactly the way you got to treat it.
It's
It's just that simple. Don't make it more than what it has to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like make people feel welcome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they can go anywhere else.
Yeah, and they have options.
They have
There's
options, man.
everywhere.
They have
so
options.
when those people walk in through the doors, they chose to come to you.
Exactly.
So whether you think this is your job or whatever you think today is, always put 110%. Just make sure, like, make people feel great. I don't care. And I always tell them, like, I don't care what you're going through out there. Okay? We all have issues. Yeah. Don't bring it in here.
But you guys lead by example, though. And that's also important. Like I see you driving around before, like I see you delivering something there. I'm like, yo, like this guy, that's the type of leader you want. Because then I'm showing you how much I care. I'm not saying like, hey, you need to care, and then I'm racing away in my Ferrari, and then you don't see me for 2 weeks.
Right.
So what,
no, you're in the back washing dishes.
I wash dishes.
Yeah. It's like
I'm
it's
telling
okay,
you, like,
you know.
you know how many times I've had people like walk in and be like,
Why
don't
washing
you have
dishes?
people doing? I'm like,
Like,
I
it's
would rather do that than
mhm,
get on my staff's way because I'll
mhm.
probably like just slow them down.
Yeah.
So you know what? If I'm gonna wash some dishes, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
And
it's like
like,
10, 15 minutes and
yeah,
it helps,
it
you
helps them
know,
like like
get a little,
relax. They
yeah.
don't have to
Mhm,
worry about all those
mhm.
things that they have to do because we don't have dishwashers like
Yeah.
to put
Yeah,
things
you
in or
Yeah.
rinsed
whatever.
everything out, yeah.
Yeah, we rinse everything. So I'll do it and I enjoy that. I'm like, I'll sit there and I'll tell them like, listen, do you guys need anything else? And I want them to see that. Listen, I'm not just some guy that's coming in here and being like, oh, what are you guys doing? That's wrong. That's wrong. I go in there and I'm like, I ask, how's everything going?
Mhm.
You guys good? Do you need anything? No. Even if they say no, I still jump into the
Yeah.
dishes. I do
Yeah.
that
I
before
don't think
anywhere I leave.
your staff probably even knows like how special it is to have someone so young as an owner. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't when I was younger, like I never had young owners. It was always older
All the
guys
yeah.
like
Yeah.
walking around grumpy. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes I'm like, guys, like don't take this scenario situation for granted. It's special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
We're the
we
same.
we cool. Like it's
Yeah.
you guys like coming to work. Like even that to me is huge. The
Yep.
fact that like you get to come to work without the anxiety of you're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that's off the table. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Like now you have an owner that's actually like he's helping you clean a table, he's helping you wash,
Yeah.
the dishes, like, and it's
Yeah.
not a thing. You
And
know what I'm
not
saying?
just
Like,
sitting down on the
yeah, not
table
just
and
sitting
Or in
asking
down.
the back of the
for
office, like,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
go do
Get me
this,
Go
that.
do
go do
this or
that.
go do
Yeah.
that, or hey, it's now looking back, like the industry, like, talking about the restaurant industry, like so many things were just done wrong. And it
Yeah.
was like
Mhm.
that, it was like that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to purposely be the anti of that. You know what I'm saying? The opposite. I'm like, guys, like I want to just like put myself in your shoes. Like, what's gonna make you stick around longer? And how can I do that? You know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying? But at the same time, I also got to make this a good experience for me too. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
Right.
course.
But also like
This is my life.
you like if you have an opinion, we talk about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying like give me your ideas all day, but like let's work together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I want you to stick around. As a
Mhm.
before, it's like, oh, I'm doing you a favor by giving you a job. I'm like, no, man, like I'm happy for as long as you're here and I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
If you do what I tell you to do and you do it with a smile, it's all good. The day
Yep.
you want to
Yeah.
leave, I don't care. Go out there. There's better
You're
things for
still
you.
gonna continue.
I'm still gonna continue. And if you want to come back a year later, it's all good too,
Yeah.
man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't operate like that where it's like,
Yeah.
No
they're
hard
they're
feelings.
lucky they have this or they lucky they have me. If it wasn't for me, I'm like, that's weird, man. Like people will leave you on a whim.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care about loyalty. I don't care about none of that
No,
stuff,
none of
man.
that
Like
stuff
all I
is
want you, I just
unfortunately.
want to live a happy life.
Yep.
And whatever you got to do, as long as it's not interfering with my life,
My life.
Right.
That's right.
it's all good, bro. You want to go
Yeah.
somewhere? You want to go work up the road? I don't care.
Yeah.
Literally,
Mhm.
I do care if you quit on me in
The
the
day
middle of your
of
shift.
or whatever.
Give me
Yeah.
some
It's a problem. But
notice.
give me 2 weeks or give me a month. Do your
Yes.
thing, bro.
Perfect.
And if
Yeah.
you don't like it over there, come back here.
Come back.
It's
And
all
that's what
good.
they need to realize is like, listen, and I say the same thing all the time. Like, if you want to go somewhere, that's fine.
Mhm.
And I've had staff, like you said, I've had them like, listen, because they'll be like, hey, listen, I got this place and they're giving me more hours or
Mhm.
something like that. I'm like, go ahead. If you like it, see how it
But
is.
leave on good
Yeah.
terms.
As long as
Yeah.
you leave on good
Mhm.
terms, and then like literally 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, they
It's like,
see
yeah,
like how
mhm.
hard it is, and they're so used to like working with us because
Mhm.
we're a lot easier. They'll
Yeah.
call back and they'll be like, I'm like, as long
Yeah.
as you give me notice and you leave, I bring them back. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right,
It's all good.
there you go.
Yeah.
I have no hard feelings like
Mhm.
that. As long as you do your job, you want to try different things, I'm not stopping you.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
As long as like you stick within the realm of like making everything like,
yeah,
nice and,
exactly. That's
So you're on basically your 11th year, I guess, of owning a business
Mhm.
because you started
Yeah.
2015 with
Mhm.
rice and beans. What do you feel was the biggest risk that you took? Was it the early days or after
The
that?
biggest risk, that's a good one. I gotta think about that one. Like, what was the
Yeah.
biggest? What was a time where I felt like I
Like you
think
really felt heavy, I
yeah,
think, you
I
know?
think the beginning of Bottega was definitely the heaviest because I didn't know anything. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
huge investment.
Huge investment. And for me back then, like that was a even bigger investment because, like,
Yeah.
as you know, like it's at the end of the day, it's like it's a big capital investment, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you barely have anything. So you're maxing out credit cards, you're asking, family and friends for money, you know what I'm saying? That's the
Yeah.
reality of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Right.
Like, so
that's
that's the only way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then later on, like things are different and you're able to save up some money. And then now it's a different experience when you actually have the
Yeah.
money to open something up and you're not like someone's calling you like, "Yo, bro, remember where's that money?" You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so I think the beginning of Bottega was probably the hardest part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then later on, like people say, oh, you figure like the work or the stress compounds when you have more and it gets less because
Mhm.
now you know what to expect
yep,
and how things are going to play out because
Yeah.
you have experience. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But when you have no experience, like all you think about is the worst scenarios. Like
Right.
what's going to happen here? Like you were talking about the chefs, they're going to walk out. And then
Mhm.
now I'm like, guys, like
we'll
I've
get
had
to
people walk out on me on Saturday night, first week in Brookfield.
Mhm.
Let me give you a scenario. So first weekend in Brookfield, busy, busy, busy. Like I'm talking about the busiest days we've ever experienced owning restaurants.
yeah,
Mhm.
Two cooks, they come in, they're like, hey, look, I'm not working here no more. And now I'm short staffed, you know what I'm
The
saying?
day of.
The day of.
wow,
I've had so opening a location, day one, our my main like bartender guy, the guy that made the drinks, the full-time like lead bartender. Opening day, we're opening at 4 o'clock for dinner that day. At 3 o'clock, he says, look, man, I got another opportunity and I gotta go now. And I'm like, wait a sec. What? He's like, I gotta go now. Like because he was like at that time he was doing like he was in like uh in a business where it involved like traveling
yeah,
Yeah.
and these opportunities were far and few. So from his standpoint, like he didn't care about. He was like, "This is my
Yeah.
only opportunity," but I'm like, at my expense was crazy to me. I'm like, bro, like,
Yeah.
what,
not. It doesn't care that you're leaving us short. It's like you're the guy.
Yeah.
And we're opening in an hour, like
in 1
in
hour,
1 hour, not like the day before. In 1 hour,
Wow.
we just got done. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm
see,
like, if all these things, like after a while, like you get more confident, and I'm just like, guys, like it's all good, man. You guys want to go, like it's
but
all
you made
good,
it
bro.
through
Yeah,
all the
and then
obstacles and everything that
so again, with experience, if you're lucky enough, like I said before, you're able to make all the mistakes and still be in a good spot. Now you're like, you're armored for anything because you're just like,
Right.
it is
you
what
know
it
what
is,
to
man.
expect.
Yeah, you know what to
So no matter
expect,
what comes, it's not a surprise. It's
and it's
just
and it's
like
not that
you got
bad.
to do it.
Yeah.
And you expect it already. You're like, you see it coming now.
Yeah,
You're like,
Right.
all right, that guy's gonna leave me like in a month. Let
yeah.
me get.
There's no loyalty, unfortunately,
Mhm.
with anybody nowadays. It's very hard. I mean, listen, we've been blessed also to have like some staff that's been with us
Mhm.
for over 6 years,
Yeah.
and
No, I mean your staff shows in all the locations. Like I go
things
to
happen.
Danbury and everybody's nice.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
everybody's nice, man. And I love that. I'm like, it feels good. And like I tell my staff, I'm like, I've learned that it's all about how you feel.
that's
The
right.
most
Mhm.
some of those random memories when you're like 8 years old and you're like,
Yeah.
why do we remember that? It's because how you felt.
Felt that
Yep,
moment.
Exactly. So I'm
that's
like, all
right.
right, so if we're conscious of that, make sure that that's how you treat customers, like how they
Right.
feel. How
Yep.
does the air feel in here? The
Yeah.
space, you know what I'm saying? Like all the other stuff, okay, fine. Like the floors, the ceilings, all that stuff is nice, but it's how they feel.
That's
Because
how
if
they
they don't
feel.
Right.
feel good,
Yep.
they're telling everybody, yo, that bartender
Yeah.
sucks. I
Yeah.
hate it here. Da da da. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
dangerous,
Yep.
Right.
So
So what's the dream? What is the
the dream,
goal?
at the end of the day, the goal is always just to finally enjoy what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
have a good relationship with the businesses as far as like, not look at it as like, oh, it's so hard or it's this. It's like, no, it's like, you're lucky to
Mhm.
be here. You know what I'm saying? Like you're lucky to have multiple locations. You're lucky that you have good staff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're lucky that you're able to check off
Blessed.
all these boxes,
Yep.
Mhm.
in life in general. You know what I'm saying? So right now the goal is just to, stay in good health, physically and mentally, and be able to continue on in the
Mhm.
most, positive way possible without like having it cause so much stress. Because you were talking
Yeah.
about stress. It's like stress, man. Like stress will kill you. Like
Mhm.
and if
Right.
you don't consistently be on the watch of like how can I control my
Control it.
stress or
Yeah.
how to block it, because you're only human.
Yeah.
Things come up and you're instantly going to be stressed,
Yeah.
but you got to be aware like, yo, I can control how I feel about this. It's not
Mhm.
that easy, right? It's easier
Right.
said than
Yeah.
done, but stress will put you out. It'll age you. It'll do so
Mhm.
much damage to you that, so I think that's the most important thing that I try to do every day is like Like, guys, like, do the job this way so that I can be happy and I'm not stressed
Yeah.
out.
I don't know. I don't see this guy as stressed. I mean, he's
What?
got no
I
wrinkles,
know.
full of hair, still going. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep calling you now. Just
Okay.
every
All right.
time I'm
No,
mad,
no,
I'm gonna be
no,
like,
no.
Yo, Jay, you gotta help me out
It
right now
doesn't.
because
No,
What do
it's
I
all
do?
good.
I'm losing it.
Yeah. All right. Man, it's like, like I was telling my brother, I'm like, look, man, if you have a headache and it's like bothering you, like, you'll do anything to go. If you don't have a Advil or something, you'll get up in the middle of the night and go get relief.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I don't take how I feel lightly. You know what I'm saying? And I tell the staff that it's like I need to be happy on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I cannot be in a bad state of mind. So we got to work
Hmm.
together
That's
so
right.
that I'm cool when I show up to you and I'm just like super relaxed and everything is good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to take care of yourself and so do I. So that when we
Right.
come together in this space, like, we're happy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But if you don't take care of yourself and I don't take care of myself, like, this whole restaurant thing
Hmm.
becomes the story of other restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gossiping. Oh, this sucks. The
Which is
manager
a lot.
sucks.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro,
Yeah.
that's
Everywhere.
not how the culture is supposed to be. Somebody
Hmm.
made it that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody wants to take accountability, but it's the owner.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
like, again, you know what I'm saying?
I
Or
love that you're saying that. I
I'm
mean,
just saying,
it's-
man, like, it is
Yeah.
what it
As you keep
is.
saying that, I'm gonna keep saying
Yeah.
that. It's
It's my fault. It's
It's
my
your
fault.
fault.
It's
Like,
my
don't,
fault.
I'm like, if
I actually
somebody,
say that to you all the time.
But
I'm
listening
like,
from somebody else,
I
then your
know.
wife,
Like
again,
next
it's a
time
little different,
I'm actually
you know?
gonna tell you. Can you call my husband
Yeah,
and
yeah.
tell him this because
I've arrived here.
yeah.
And like I said, it's just like you 1 year, you work on this the next year. But luckily I was able to, like, come to the, understanding. I'm like, oh no, I have full control over everything.
Yeah.
I'm in a
That's right.
position. I'm the captain. I
Yep.
can train my players. I could trade them if they're not doing well. We need to win the game every
Yeah.
day. We're in competition with the other teams, right? Other restaurants. So
Yep.
I'm in full control, not
Right.
anybody else. So if I hire a manager, if I hire a bartender, whatever the case is, as soon as they're not, filling out whatever role they need to do, like, I can't just let them linger around because
Right.
then I'm being negligent.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I have the power to, switch out the players, and a lot of times that's what people do. They
Yeah.
just like, oh, these kids these days, they don't like to work. I'm like, you hired them. Is there high school kids that surprise me? Like 16-year-olds, they come up and they're hustlers. They
Mhm.
come from the right family.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so if they're out there, that means that it's up to me to put forth the energy to find these people and consistently find them, not just
Yeah.
like give
Do
it a
you-
shot.
Sorry.
No.
Do you hire people on the spot or do you bring them in, try them out? and
All right,
see
well, so the way I do things, and I'll make this as short as possible. So
Mhm.
basically, Val, you come to Brookfield one day, and coincidentally I'm there, and you're like, hey, I'm looking for work. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, man. Like, you look like a clean cut guy, perfect. You'll fit in this space. What are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for a serving job. I'm like, all right, that's cool. What's your availability? This, and that. All right, perfect. You have experience? I worked here. I'm like, anywhere local? They're like, yeah, I worked here. I'm like, for how long? Da da da. So maybe 5-minute conversation, not even.
Mhm.
I say, look, man, this is the way we do things. And I always remind people, I'm like, look, man, I don't know what I'm doing. And whatever we do is not right or it's wrong. It's just,
Yeah.
this is the way we do things.
Yeah.
Always remember that. I'm
Yeah, I
not
like
like,
that.
we're the same. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
always remind people, look, this is the way we do things. So how about this? Are you free later tonight or like during the week?
Mhm.
Come
Yeah.
for an hour, check out the vibe, feel at home. No commitment to me, no commitment to you. It's
Yeah.
unpaid, just so you know it's unpaid,
Yeah.
because that's one thing you got to communicate to people.
See.
Like, it's unpaid,
Yeah.
cool. They come in, Val comes in. I'm like, at the end of it, if you don't like it, it's all good. If you do, just let me know you want the job. Cool. You come in on Wednesday night, you check out the vibe. You're like, yo, Jay, I want to work here. I'm like, all right, perfect. When can you train? You're like, I'll train tomorrow. I'm like, all right, cool. Training comes and I'll be waiting for you. I'll be
Mhm.
waiting for you at the door. I'm
Yep.
like, you in 5 minutes? Let me know when you're 10 minutes away.
Yep.
Yo, Jay, I'm 10 minutes away. Cool. I'm at the door. Hey, what's up, Val? Like, all right, cool, Val. For the first hour or two, I'm going to walk you around. I'm going to show you everything I know. And then we're probably going to be on Expo for the night. And we're going to,
Mhm.
look at the food. And we'll go through the whole menu and we'll do all this stuff,
Yeah.
which is exhausting. I'm not,
I know,
believe me,
doing it the same.
it is hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. Like, the last thing I want to do on a Tuesday night is go to Brookfield, spend 2 hours training
Yep,
somebody
show 'em.
that
Yeah.
may or may not stick around.
Stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay because I
Yep.
can't think about it that way. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's good for business.
I need
and
these people.
I need these people. So assume they're not sticking around, or assume you're gonna get 2 months out of them. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then that's how I go. And then next day you come in the
Yeah.
same thing, and then finally, you can't get anything out of an interview with somebody.
No.
Yeah. You
Like, it
can't.
just doesn't work. Like, you need to see if the day
Well-
you come in, are you smiling?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you come late?
Yeah.
are you kind of like all like linty? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you can
So
see everything.
that's
We
why I
do
was
exactly
asking,
the
because
same.
this is what I do. I mean, I've been doing this from probably the first day, we started hiring people. We called it like a 2-hour interview.
Mhm.
So if somebody calls in or like applies for a job, she does an interview, and then I tell them set them up, come in for 2 hours. I'll go there.
And I do a quick virtual
Mhm.
interview
Yeah.
after since
Mhm.
COVID. It was great. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I love this. Rather than going to the store,
Yeah,
meeting
yeah.
with people, quick
I like that.
virtual.
That's good. You know
Um,
what? Maybe I should start doing
yeah.
that.
It's it,
Yeah,
it,
that's
it
good. I like that.
works.
Yeah.
I just want to see how they
Mhm.
talk. And literally, like you said, it's 5-10 minutes, very
Mhm.
basic. I'm just trying to get to know their availability
Mhm.
mostly. And if they know how to communicate, we bring them in for a second
To
interview
me, it's all about
and it's
energy.
hands
Yeah.
on.
How they react to.
Mhm.
It's not like, because obviously when they come in, I know they're not going to know how to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I still have them like
But are you interested?
prep and stuff like, exactly,
Yeah.
like if they're just kind of like wandering around, or they,
Mhm.
like you said, they show up late, or they show up like dressed like, oh, they don't,
Yeah.
they're
Sloppy.
Yeah.
sloppy,
Yeah.
like
They're looking at their phone
yeah,
every
their
second.
phone.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
Mhm.
notice
just
all
Mhm.
those things. So I got 2 hours now, and I tell them, like I
hour
tell
and a
her,
half to
like
2 hours.
before you
Yeah.
set them up, just let them know it's going to be between an hour and a half to
Mhm.
2 hours. It's unpaid.
Mhm.
You come in, I'm going to show you. I show them everywhere around. I'm like, listen,
It's like an
I
audition.
don't hire anybody to just sit in the register. You're
Mhm.
going to learn how to do every single thing in here: mop, do dishes, clean the bathrooms, everything. Are you
Mhm.
interested? Okay, they'll tell you yes and no,
Mhm.
like whatever.
Yeah. I
But
gotta ask my mom first.
yeah, things
Yeah.
like that. So I'm just like, but for me is, and then they get nervous. Some of them get
Mhm.
nervous, and I walk away. I let them do
Mhm.
their thing or whatever. But I'm always checking to see if they're asking
Yeah.
questions, how they're talking to my other staff, if
Mhm.
they're, some of
Are
them are
they
younger, so it's a
engaged?
little
Yeah.
Yeah,
different.
but
But
that's like the
how they,
right way to do things,
that's the right
man.
way,
That's
because
literally the right way to do things.
why
Like,
would I hire somebody
yeah.
in the spot? They
Mhm.
come in, they're probably gonna hate it,
Yeah.
or they're just like
Well,
sitting
I think
I,
around.
especially in
I don't
this
think anybody's
point.
doing that, man, to be honest with you. Because
Yeah.
I've worked had a lot of jobs. Never once I would show up and they're like, "What are you here for again?" I'm like, "I'm here
Yeah.
to serve." This person told me to come. Oh, okay. And there's no like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then how can you do a good job? Or
Yeah.
how, like you're literally protecting your staff
yeah,
in the
Mhm.
business. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell the staff the same thing. I'm like, any team player that we have, like it's got to be good for all of
for all
us.
of us,
Yeah.
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like,
That's
so that the fact that you're investing that much time is like, no wonder your staff is like that. You hand pick
Well,
everybody.
I do that, and I show them too, like the same way. I'm like, listen, just make sure you watch, you listen, talk to her a little bit, or like him when they come, so they can, if you guys, if you're clicking, I
Hmm.
do that too a little
It
Hmm.
bit,
has
because I
to
want to make
work.
sure that, like you said, it's like it's gonna be, you know, a good person. It's it has good energy, not just somebody that's just gonna go there, sit on their phone. Because we get a
Well,
lot of that. We
Yeah.
I
get everything.
I
We
think
get
Hmm.
the problem with ours, well, not the problem, but we've gotten a reputation of being like, it looks like a fun place to
Yeah. Yeah.
work. The
Yeah.
vibe's
Hmm.
cool.
It is a fun
And
place.
but
and
it's
it
a lot
is,
of
but
Yeah.
work,
there's
So a shit
though.
ton
work.
of work.
So
Yeah.
It's
that's
Hmm.
so stressful.
Hmm.
I never want, because a lot of people that apply are our customers. It's
Yeah.
even like at this age, there's
That's hard to
kids
reject your
that've
customers.
been,
Oh,
That's hard to reject your
yeah, and
customers.
they've
You
been
want
our
work. Yeah.
customer, for 5-10
Hmm.
like some of these were like little kids that their
Yeah.
dream was to be
Work at Boost
16
Bros.
and
Like I
work at
wanted to
Boost
work at Boost
Bowls.
Bros all my life.
But I specifically tell them, I'm like, we do this second interview because I don't want you to come in and be like, I hate this place, and
Yeah.
then feel uncomfortable ever coming back as
Or
a
I don't want to hate you
customer.
either. And now it's
Yes.
awkward. Now I got to talk to your
the
mom
same
about it.
way.
I
Yeah.
literally say
Hmm.
that to them
Hmm.
in the interview. So I'm
Protecting
like,
us. Yeah.
come
Yeah.
in. If you like it, great. Message me
Hmm.
after and we'll talk about it
Hmm.
Yeah,
if
so
it
we do
fits.
that
And
two
it
hours,
works.
and then I bring them in for 4 hours. 4 hours is
But
paid.
it's paid, yeah.
Hmm.
So because I want them to, like, now you got at least 4 hours
Yeah.
to really get to know
Hmm.
me, get to know the staff and
Hmm.
everything, and see if this is something you really want to do. It might work for me, it might not work for you, and then that's basically how I
So
do it. I think it's the easiest. You know what? If it doesn't work out, I just basically tell them, like, listen, unfortunately, I won with another,
Hmm.
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I'll,
Hmm.
send them a check or
Yeah,
Usually
because
whatever
it's
it
it's
true. You
is.
fine.
have multiple candidates that you're looking
Yeah.
at. It's not just one.
Right.
You
Because
know.
you can't know that person within 2 hours, or
No.
like as soon as they interview.
Yeah.
It's
When they
Even
interview,
after the
they're
4
selling. They're
hours,
selling
you're
themselves
like,
to you,
yeah,
anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
obviously,
obviously, so it's like it's like. I just
so
think like that's huge. I think for any business owner that is going to take a listen to this, like that's huge. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like a lot of times, like you miss, like you're like, how is this business doing so well? It's like, bro, there's work behind it.
there's work
It's
behind it. Yep.
intentional. It's
Yeah.
not just like out of the blue, like you get this like friendly staff, or when you go to restaurants, you're like, God damn, everybody's freaking happy in here, like, and it feels like home.
Right.
And then you know, a lot of times, like, as an owner, you're like, what is the magic that they have, and why aren't we performing like they are? And it's
Listen, we still
because,
say the same
yeah,
thing.
it's the
Don't
way
we
they,
go to some
yeah,
places?
you know
Yeah.
what I'm
We
saying?
might,
Sometimes it's magic, sometimes you could put your finger on it, but
yeah.
a lot of times it's like, oh no, when I go there, I feel good.
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody treats me nice, and it doesn't feel like a transaction.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's huge. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when I see, you know, local businesses, I'm like, guys, like, you're missing the most important mark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are doing you a favor by going to your business. Like,
That's right.
I'm not here because I need you. I'm here because I like coming here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, someone has to put forth the effort to, like,
People go where they like. It's
Yeah.
not because
or the
they have
story behind it.
Yeah, they have so
Right.
many options. They can go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's the energy, it's the story, like you said,
Yeah.
it's where they feel comfortable, and
Mhm.
the way they're being treated.
Yeah.
Even if the food or the drinks, sometimes they might not be the great. Maybe your food is not the great, but the
But the
drinks
drinks are
are great, or the
amazing, or
food is.
vice versa.
I can open up a acai smoothie spot next to you, and
Yeah.
I can't do what you're doing. And you're like, why is that? I'm like, this just the way it is, man.
That's
And
Yeah.
a lot of owners, they think that it's like, wait a sec, he's killing it. I'm gonna open up down the road. I'm gonna kill the
It
same.
doesn't work
And
like
it doesn't
that.
work
It
like
doesn't
that.
work like
And
that.
how would you know that
Yeah.
if you ask
Yeah.
ask a business owner, someone
Yep.
in the right light? You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you. And it's like, well, I did the same thing. I'm like, because it's not just that. You don't
Yeah.
got the juice.
It's not.
You don't got it.
It's
You know what I'm
different.
saying? You're
And
missing
that's-
that, and you can't buy that.
That's what we were talking about, like, earlier, as I said. It's like we have a lot of people that just want to put their money in somewhere
Mhm.
just to open.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm.
If you don't put your work in it,
Mhm.
and that's what we don't want. Like, I always say, we talk about it all the time, like partners for us. Obviously, like, once you get to a point, I want to, for me to find a partner, I want to make sure that
Yeah.
partner is going to work with
Mhm.
me. It's going to help me out, be next to me, not to
Yeah.
just
It's not about the money.
capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's you need this money. Okay, but what am I? That's adding more stress to me now.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do with
Yeah.
all
Now I
this?
got to build you another
Yeah.
3 places, and
Yeah.
you know.
I don't need that.
Mhm.
I want somebody that's going to be right next to me and say, like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
then we
That's
can
the
make that
next-
work.
Yeah.
But
If
Yeah.
if a partner is part of the plan, by all means.
By
If
all
it's part of the
means.
plan, you know what I'm saying? But if
Right.
it's not, then
I don't need
you
it.
know, but
Yeah.
you know, and it's true, you know what I'm saying? Like, businesses work because there's an actual force and energy behind it.
That's
And it's a
right.
human being, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can
Mhm.
pay for things, but like some things you can't
It's-
pay for.
You can't
Right.
You
pay
know
for
what I mean?
it.
So
And sometimes you got to be careful and not grow too fast,
Mhm.
because
we made that
unfortunately,
mistake too, man.
yeah.
Like, you know, and that's the beauty of this thing, is like, even with all the experience just allows you to make less mistakes. But you're
Yes.
still gonna make
You're
mistakes.
still-
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
it's
But
life.
and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, oh, I open this, then I'm good. And I open another one, it's always gonna be good. I'm like, no, like, there's gonna be a misstep.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because you just misjudged something. You
Yeah.
misjudged
That's
the
right.
market. And I've seen that with a lot of bigger people that have multiple locations. I'm like, even them could misjudge a market and they have to close a location. I'm like, how crazy is that? And I'm like, it's not that crazy actually,
not. It
because
happens.
you can actually, like, now think about it. You know what I mean? So, but again, like I said, going back to, people need to look for information. You know what I'm saying? So anybody out there that's looking to start a career, or we're talking about business here, like, I would say, like, go find yourself. If you're serious, right? If you're
Mhm.
you're really, really like going into something, right? Like, go find yourself some sort of a lifeline or a mentor. You know what I'm saying? The right person. You're not gonna go to the guy that has a smoothie spot in Waterbury downtown.
Yeah.
He's not
Mhm.
gonna have the same experience as you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I would always, like, if I could give myself one piece of advice back then, would be that. It's like, bro, like, you should have just asked for help. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Because when you're
Yep.
starting off, you're just like, it's me, it's all me. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, how much time would you have saved if you
You would've
actually were
asked.
able to call somebody, hey Val, I'm at the health department and they're asking me for this. You're like, bro, that's easy. Just go online and this and that.
Right.
You could spend 2 weeks trying to figure that out on
Yeah.
your own. Luckily now you
That's
have
true.
Chat GBT, which
Right.
is crazy. Back then you didn't have that.
What were you using?
Oh my
What are you
gosh.
doing?
It's
You know what I'm
so
saying?
amazing.
Yeah,
But
that
just-
that
yeah,
thing
they have
literally
all
is
the
like a
tools they
wealth.
need
Yeah.
nowadays.
Back then it's like go to the town, they say, hey, look, like, you need to submit this. And I'm like, what even is that?
Yeah.
And then you just sit on it and weeks go by, and that's what, like, when people say, oh, that place is taking forever to open up, in my head,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's the town, it's this. I'm like, no, they just don't have the experience, because when you already built out a place, like, you
already know.
okay, if the liquor license takes this long
Yeah.
to get, maybe I should apply around this time. If a sprinkler company is going to take for 3 months to get here to do the work, I should be, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
or the hood guy, or this or
Right.
that,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or when should I start calling for inspections, and
Yeah.
or what should I be asking the landlord if there's this grease trap or
Right.
whatever. Instead, you run into all these roadblocks because like you just don't have the
Well,
information,
I will
Explain.
tell
and you
you
never
that
asked.
the towns though do
The
delay
town,
it
some I you know, I tell
sometimes.
my brother, I'm like, just be nice to them.
Yes.
I go over
You have
there
to, because
and
or else you're not gonna get
I go
anything
there and I
done.
just shut up and I'm like, hey guys, how
Yeah.
you doing?
Listen.
Here, you asked me for this, please, sir, would you be so
Yeah.
kind to help me? And and the last thing I do is like I approach it like I know nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
I want them to feel like they're in a position
They're
to
in a
help,
position.
Yes.
And they
versus
need
like
to feel like that.
They have
exactly, yeah.
to.
Give them
That's
all the
the only
power.
way.
Because the
Yep.
minute
Give them
you
all the
start
power,
saying
yeah.
like, "Well, do I need that?"
Yeah.
That's
Well,
when they're
this
like,
town,
They
I've
turn
had
on.
5 locations, and
Yeah.
this is, I'm like,
Yep.
I think
that's
that was
the
my
worst
mistake.
thing you could do.
That was my mistake.
They
with
don't need to
Yeah.
know that. They don't need to know
Oh,
that. I'm like,
man.
hey guys, like I'm here. I'm trying to open up a place up the road. You know, it's my first time in this town. Like, let me know what I got to do. If you can help me,
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate that. And they'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just in the same thing when they come for inspections. I try to be nice, man. Like, but now I know what they're looking for.
Right.
Before it's like,
Different.
oh,
Yeah,
why
same
didn't you
here.
guys put a handshake here? Now it's this big thing.
Right.
And
Right.
you're like, man,
Now you
F you
know.
guys. Like, you're always trying to make this difficult for me. And I'm like, that's not, they're just doing their job.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They
with
go by the code.
they go
It's
by
what
the
they
code,
know.
man. They're just, you know.
To them, it's like a robot. Basically,
Yeah.
what they tell them, that's
Exactly,
what they
yeah.
go for.
So,
So-
any new restaurants coming?
So right now we got a project in the works. We're opening up in a Shelton, but we're just in the very beginnings of it.
Okay.
Not exactly sure, you know, where we're headed with that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, yeah, that's where we're at. So we're just literally
great
just
area, man.
yeah.
That
I think it's a
place
good
is
area.
like-
Do you know
It's-
what type of concept?
It's going to be an American, nicer type of restaurant.
Okay.
You know, at the end of the day, like I said, it's important to when you're starting off, if this is going to be your first business, like I said, look for someone that has some knowledge, because the location is huge. In some cases, it's everything. You know what I'm saying? Like picking the right spot. And how do you know you pick the right spot? There's a couple ways you can do that. You can, if you make a relationship with a realtor, you can make a relationship with some bartenders or whatever. Like
Right.
they'll tell you, like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm the GM here and this is what we do in sales. You know what I'm saying? You're
Mhm.
like, God damn, you're like, that's a good area. And then you go to the
Yeah.
next restaurant. They all do the same. You're like, okay, there's some heavy,
There's something in it.
there's
Yeah.
an opportunity here.
Right.
But if you don't ask those questions, realtors will sell you on anything. They're just trying to make a
Yeah,
buck.
they're trying to make
course.
money.
They'll be like,
It's
bro, like you need to go in downtown, here in this
Yeah.
place, and there's this amount of people and all this information, and then you open up and you have all your money and you're super excited about it and it tanks,
Right.
thanks.
and
Yep.
you're like, why did that happen? It's like,
Right.
bro, because the deli down the road was already near closing. The coffee shop was super, super slow. Like you're not paying attention to like
to what's happening.
what the
Exactly.
foot traffic is down here. What is the demographic?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what are the,
You gotta do all
you
that
got to do all
research.
that. That's super important, because like at the end of the day, like you can't just open up a place and close it and then
Right.
open again. It's like,
Yeah.
where are you going to get the money to give it another shot?
a
You know what I'm
huge
saying?
investment.
So
Do you have a number of how many restaurants you would love to own before you kind of, I guess, sell out
Yeah.
and walk away? Do
Mhm.
you feel like that would be a goal? Do you want to walk away and
think-
retire and
yeah,
go,
that's a good
relax on the
question.
beach?
I think for now, I'm in it for the long run. So for
Mhm.
now, whatever it ends up being, you know what I'm saying? And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's like your plans today are not your plans tomorrow or not
Oh,
next
yeah.
year, you know what I'm
It
saying? Or,
changes.
10 years from now. So right now, my main focus is just to get good at what I'm doing now. It's like, how can I
Mhm.
get better at what I'm doing now?
Yeah.
And then like in that same journey, whatever comes out of it, whether it's 10 or 20 or whatever the case is, or whether you get one, that's the unicorn and it's like the busiest place ever and you hit
Yeah.
it big, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then maybe you stay there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because quantity doesn't mean quality.
Yeah, no.
I was
Doesn't.
having this conversation. Is like some guy could have 3 restaurants or 4 or 5, but then that one guy has that restaurant that's performing like outstanding. He's
Killing it.
actually making the same profit margin as the other guy.
As
Like,
the other
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I told my brothers the other day, like everybody's just out here trying to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. It's like who can be the most profitable and also have a good quality of life on top of that. Like that's how you win. If you're able
Yeah.
to consistently like turn a profit, you got a good family life, you got a good work-life balance. You know what I'm saying? If you get there, you're good. Whatever
Yeah.
that number is or whatever it is, whether it be like one location or 10 or 20, and people wear their success. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see pictures of you, I don't want to bring this up, but with a 6-pack, I'm like, yo, you're successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
Come on
it's
now.
hard, man. It's hard to do that.
I lost a little bit.
You
I
know,
lost a little
but
bit.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how
Yeah.
difficult. Like a lot of people
We're getting
wear,
older now, so
yeah, and people wear their success on them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so you already know. You could tell a lot by looking at somebody.
yeah.
You're like, all right, I know this guy can be consistent, and I know he could commit to something. So if you ever want to be my partner, I already got that off the table. I'm like, if you can do that, then that's the requirements of a business:
Yeah.
commitment
Right.
and
Commitment.
consistency.
Yep.
That's
consistent.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you don't have to have the brains. You just got to
Right.
do something consistent over time and also be able to adjust. And that's how you get good at things. It's
Yeah.
that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't
Right.
need to have all the knowledge of how to operate. I didn't know anything about food costs or labor costs. I don't know none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You learn
Learn.
those
You learn
things.
as you go.
You know what I'm saying?
That's-
But through consistency, you're able to, be lucky enough to understand it. Be like, oh shoot, this is just a game of numbers, and how sales minus expenses equals profit, and how do I
Mhm.
manage the in between?
Yep.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's that simple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tell my brother, like, don't make this anything more than that.
Oh, that's
You know
all
what I'm
there
saying?
is.
You'll drive yourself crazy,
Yeah.
and you'll drive other people crazy too if you make it more than, like, it's a
Well,
business, man.
my question was, I was going to ask you, but I feel like you've answered basically
Mhm.
every
You
question
did. I
that,
don't think I actually even followed my
yeah.
list.
Because the question that I always ask is like, well, what kind of advice would you give to the
Mhm.
all young entrepreneurs
Yeah.
nowadays? But I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, you said a
Yeah.
lot of
You
that,
did,
like
Yeah.
what
but
they.
Mhm.
But if it's
anything else?
something that anything you would want to add, because
Yeah.
this is why we do this.
Yeah.
You were talking about earlier, how you said like, hey, you have a young boss. Like I don't even consider myself as a boss. I hate that word, to
Yeah.
be honest with you, because at the same time, like, listen, we I can't even say lucky, because we worked, our asses off to
Mhm.
where we are. But we also started young. We made sure, like, we put on our work. We're nowhere near where we want to be in
Mhm.
life, right? I personally think, like, my thing is like, she always says like, what's your goal? Listen, my goal is to just keep going.
Mhm.
When the time is right, we'll figure it out. But I don't
Yeah.
have a plan, like what I'm like, how some people say like, well, 10 years from now I want to be here. I want to be
20 stores
Yeah.
equals
I
this.
put
Right.
like, I put my goals out there a
I-
little bit, and I want to make sure that, like,
You reach it a little
I
bit.
reach it. You should
You
always
have to have
something.
goals.
You have to have
100%.
goals.
Yeah.
But it's not something that, like, I don't think I'll ever.
Mhm.
I always say like maybe, but I don't think I'll ever retire. I enjoy
Mhm.
what I do.
Yeah.
I love the craziness, the chaos,
Mhm.
and everything.
And when we don't, we take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 year we
Mhm.
opened 2 stores at the same
Mhm.
time. The next year we were like, we're just
Mhm.
traveling and we're gonna
That's
enjoy
what I
our
got to
kids.
get better at, is what I see you guys with taking vacations. But you have a family, and to me, that's super special.
Yes.
Like, when your kids grow up, they're gonna be like, "Yo, this freaking guy." Because, like, when you're a kid, you don't know how hard, like,
They have no idea.
They have no
you know what I'm
idea.
saying? Like, they don't. And it's like, I purposely show up to you, and I'm like happy, like,
Yep.
on purpose, to make sure that you don't feel any of the stuff that I'm feeling. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think some
Mhm.
people take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, you know, imagine if you're just stressed out all the time.
Yeah.
The damage that causes, not
Yeah,
just to your
it's-
kids, but everybody else
everybody
around you.
else.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like, yeah, if you're able to just, I guess, fake it, but oh, you're not showing your real emotions. I'm like, because it's just not good for you.
It's
And I'm
not.
just
Right.
being polite. And
That's
I'm
it.
trying to make it look like it's regular,
Yeah.
so that you can
Right.
enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's important, Jay, though. I'm going to tell you right now, whether it's family or not. I mean, listen, I love, that I spend time with my kids.
Mhm.
I'm very, like, blessed that, we're at that level right now that I can do that. And that was one of my goals, to make sure that I'm there for my kids, make
Yeah.
sure that I build memories,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, they grow so fast. Money comes and goes.
Yeah.
I know how to get to, like, where I am today. And I know that it could happen where I could probably get to where I was,
Mhm.
so it's important that, like, we always spend time with our kids, with our family, with each other.
Right.
Yes, you might not have a family right now, but it's still important to take care of yourself. You said it
Yeah. Mhm.
yourself, because at the end of the day, it's not going to make, no matter how much money you're going to make out there,
It doesn't make a difference.
it's
Like,
not
at
going to
some
make a
point, yeah.
difference.
No.
You have to find that
Mhm.
time where you got to just say, like, you know what, fuck this. I need this time to
Yeah.
myself, and I'm going to make it
I
happen.
think after the 5-year mark, right? Or
Yes,
something
no,
like
no,
that. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
By
That's
any
like another
means,
thing.
yeah,
People get confused. Like, bro, like,
no. You
don't be in this
can't.
business for 6 months
Yes,
and then start trying to look for a
no.
work-life balance and have all these plans.
You
It's not how it
No,
have
works.
to
no,
put in
there's
the
no
work.
You
work-life
gotta put in the
balance
work.
those
So
early
let's-
You're
days.
still going to be
Yeah,
working,
yeah.
even if you take a vacation out
Yeah.
there, as like, even
Mhm.
with us, like, we're still working,
Mhm.
but at least, like, I'm out
We're
of
able to
the
do
it.
chaos a
Mhm.
little bit, and you have to do
Yeah.
that, because if you don't, you just forget, and you're
Mhm.
just like, and by the time you want to do it, it's already too late. because then you're like,
Yeah.
you're older, time has gone by, and you're like, shit, what the fuck did I do all this for?
Hmm.
You
I
know?
think the goals shift for us a lot. Probably if we talked 5 years ago, we would have been like halfway through, with
Yeah.
Boost at that level. Like, I want to have, 100, 1,000
Hmm.
locations everywhere. And that was the
Hmm.
goal for a long time. And then you
And it could
just
still
kind of,
happen
it
if
can,
things
and it
change.
will.
You know what
But
I'm
I
saying?
think we just got to a point that we're like, you know what? Maybe it'll happen once my kids are a little
Hmm.
older, but right now there's just moments we don't want to miss.
Yeah.
We
To
enjoy
us,
it.
what's important now is showing up to every soccer game, soccer
Yeah.
practices, and all that, and dance and whatever. So if it's taking a little break and then we figure it out, then we
I think.
do.
I
But it
think.
doesn't mean we won't open more.
I think one thing we were just talking about it right now that we should bring up is like a lot of times, like, we look at motivational videos and things like that. Like,
Mhm.
that's one of the things. I know it sounds cliche or whatever, but it helped me a lot in the truck. You know what I'm saying? Like, just filling yourself with positive
Positive. Yeah.
information. I
Yes,
know some of the things are cliche and all this stuff,
it's
but
okay.
like,
Yeah.
it's okay. If it
Yeah.
works for you, it works for you. If you got to do yoga, you got to do Pilates. If it makes you feel
Yeah.
good, do what makes you feel good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, and a lot of people, like, in the beginning of your journey, they'll start to like say things like, hey, look, but this person does it this way and they're able to have a family and be in shape and do all these things, and they make you feel bad as if like you're not looking to get there at some point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm like, you have to know that these people take people for where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, for example, you guys are saying all these positive things, but like, you guys arrived here.
Yeah.
This wasn't the
Hmm.
It
same
took a long
conversation
time.
8 years
Yeah.
ago. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
took
Yeah.
a long time. So like, right now we can romanticize like the beginnings and all this stuff and how hard
Yeah.
it was and all that stuff. But when you're in it, you're in it. And
That's
it's
it.
and it's
Yeah.
not pleasant. Like,
Right.
don't
No.
forget that. Like, it's not gonna be like you could just like, oh, everything is good. And no, like, it's when it's hard, it's hard.
Yep.
And yes, the same way, like, you'll be in at home alone or in the car by yourself wondering, what the hell did I just do to myself, and
Lots
why
of
am I
tears.
here, and what am I doing to my family, what am I doing to my relationship, all these things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a matter of time till you pass the threshold. I think you brought it up, it's like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? It takes about 5 long hard years to see something through, and pray that it comes out the way you envision it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? But again, like, people, these are positive conversations. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, are you gonna have a podcast 6 months into Boost Bowls about, and what are you gonna talk about? It's like, they're just bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Right.
so a lot of times, like, the younger people need to realize, like, don't trick yourself, man. Expect it to be hard,
Mm.
but then expect it to, there's the other side of it.
Yep.
But just
Right.
know, like, if you're in the hard stage, everybody has to go through this stage.
Yeah.
It's supposed to weed out
That's right.
everybody else, because it's just like a race.
Right.
And then only a few people get on this side.
Right.
And that's reality. Don't think like, I'm saying something that's out of line. It's just the truth, man.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
it's just, I'm just speaking in general. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you have to,
There's a
you
light to
know,
every tunnel.
yeah.
That's the way you got to see it.
There is, but there's also multiple tunnels because, yes, after 5 years, I feel like if you're doing the same thing, it's consistent and it feels good, you're comfortable. But then, like us, we
Don't
like
get
to
too
get
comfortable,
outside
though.
of the comfort zone. We could stay comfortable and we're fine at that, in that place. But then you challenge yourself
Yeah.
more and now you're uncomfortable
Yeah.
again.
That's what
And,
we were,
the
we were
challenges.
going
So,
this, yesterday, actually. I was like, there's one thing where it's like, okay, you got the hustle and you got the commitment. Okay. But are you adverse to risk? Like, cause that's one thing.
mm,
And then now it's like, okay, you started a business, but now you might have to adjust, and
yeah.
now it's risky. Or now you might have to invest to open up a second location or reinvest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
could you handle that part? Because
Right.
yes, you got this part. You're a hustler, you're committed, but can you do the other stuff?
Can you scale?
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
everybody's built for the other stuff. And then it's like,
No.
okay, they just have that one business because
Right.
like you see
Yeah.
it. It's like the other side is like a whole nother
We've seen
type of
so
person,
many people,
Mhm.
yeah, that just keep it at
Opening
that
up a
and it works
second
for them.
location is not easy, or a
No,
third. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to
it's not.
be, have to have a certain personality
No.
to do those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're somebody that stresses out about everything, like, I wouldn't even get
Yeah,
into
I
it.
wouldn't
You know what I'm
even.
saying? Because you would
Yeah.
just like, you know, it.
It's patience.
Mhm.
Everything is like, it's patience. I always say, like, you gotta work through it, and you have to have patience, because if you don't, and like you said, stress will kill you. So
Mhm.
it's one of those things that you just need to have patience and keep going and keep going. You're gonna have a lot of obstacles through, but once you get there, you'll know. I mean, and like you said too, it's like you're gonna constantly have,
Yeah.
up, down, but it's normal. It's life. Unfortunately, it's just like everything else. So
And
Yeah.
we talked about it. You guys have each other. And that to me is
yeah,
huge. You know what I'm saying? Because a
Yes.
lot, when you start off, you're like alone. I'm
yeah.
sure you guys felt alone. Even if you had each
Oh,
other,
Yes, we
bro.
you're still
did.
alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
We still
who do
feel
you,
alone sometimes. I'm
yeah,
like,
like
We're
who do
like,
you know?
man, we're here. We have, our house. We got a
Mhm.
pool, and we're like, where's the people?
Yeah.
Like, we want to have
Yeah.
like a bunch of people,
Yeah.
but it's
And the
just
same thing.
different.
I was like, you don't get a trophy for this. You know what I'm saying?
No,
What you do get
no.
is your time back. What you do get
Yes.
is the ability to love your family the way you want to love them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
that's priceless. So it's like, I want to go on vacation. I get to go on a vacation. I don't have to
There you
be
Right.
like
go.
worried about it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah.
So that to me is
It's priceless.
that's success. You know
I
what I'm saying?
agree.
You get to love the people that you love the way you want to love them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you actually get to take care of them. Cause like,
Mhm.
if you're in trouble, I could actually be an asset to you as opposed to just like, yo, bro, I'll pray for you. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, no
Yeah.
offense, but that's
That
what I'm
was a
trying
good
to,
one.
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
No, you're right.
thank you for that, but like, I actually need real help in
Yep.
you know what
Right.
I'm saying? So to me, that to me is one of the biggest things, like to be in a position to be an asset and not a liability for anybody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That to me is huge. Where it's like,
Mhm.
yo, if I'm in trouble, I can call Jay. Like
Yeah.
no questions
Yeah.
asked. Like that's a lifeline
Important.
to me.
Yeah.
That to me is the most rewarding part about this. It's not about the restaurants. It's not about none of that stuff. Like you know what I'm saying? Just simply like,
Mhm.
thank God I'm here today, and nobody has to worry about me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that to me is the beauty of this business. It's not about cars or whatever else. It is, for some people, but you know,
It's
um,
not gonna make them happy.
it's
I can
not.
tell
It's
you right
not.
now.
Mhm.
All the materialistic things,
Mhm.
as people think like, oh, I'm working to do this
Mhm.
because I want to do that. None
Those are
of
good to
that's
have. They're
they're good to
goals,
have for
but
like
mhm.
2-3 months,
Yeah.
and then
And
they
then it's
fade.
Mhm.
just like
To
So
me,
yeah.
I always say like, I mean, again, everybody's different,
Mhm.
but it's all about memories and like
Mhm.
what you can achieve in
Yeah.
life. Because things like that, like cars, houses, and
Mhm.
things like that,
It's all about like your level of happiness. If you're
exactly.
happy from just like, all right, if I'm like the best cashier at this place, if I'm the happiest person and you're happier than I am, then you won. I lost. That's
Absolutely.
it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
it.
but if I'm angry about everything, but I have all these things, like, then who's in a better position? Like, I'm probably going to just die early because of all the
The
stress
stress,
and I
Yeah.
hate everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're going to live a long, happy life and
Yep.
fulfilled life. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about just like, all right, how can I just like be successful and be happy? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I purposely try to enjoy this thing. And I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
helps, like, get up every morning and just expect like, oh, we're going to have some issues today, but it's all good
It's all
Right.
because
good.
things are good
It's
Get
and
through
normal.
it
it.
is what it
Yep.
is. And when it's good, when the good times are around, like appreciate the good times because the
Yeah.
bad is always going to come
Yep.
Right.
and they're always going to come and it's on the way.
Yeah.
You
It's
know what I'm
just when it
saying?
gets there.
It just when it gets there,
When
but
it
at
gets
least you
there,
can
be
remember like,
prepared.
yo, when it was good, I savored the good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's
So it's
right.
bad now. So let's get into it and let's get it over
We'll
with.
get through
Same
it.
You
here.
know what I'm saying?
Bring
Just-
it on.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. You pointed a lot of like,
This was a
this
little
is
therapy
this
for
yeah,
you,
this
I
is what
think.
honestly, it helped me.
Yeah.
This is why I like doing this because I
Mhm.
like to also hear from other people too because
Mhm.
it's important. Like, we're all in this together
Yeah.
and we should all help each other. And that's the reason, like, I love going to your place. You
Mhm.
love to go to my place. And we have this community that we just built. And, you know, to see everybody just doing so well for me, it's like, it's very important. That's the
Mhm.
reason why I
Mhm.
honestly did this. It's just so we can kind of talk about it and just explain to the people
Yeah.
like the good, the
Mhm.
bad, and whatever else is out there. Every answer that I wanted to ask,
Mhm.
honestly, you you
All right.
you
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 kinda did,
you
yeah.
you did it.
Mhm.
I
And
mean, you were one of the people we really always like admire a
Mhm.
lot when we opened our location and
Well,
just watching your
like people
brand
make
and
fun of me, but I'm like,
everything.
nobody asked me anything.
Yeah.
I always tell
but
everybody,
they
I'm like,
will.
nobody asked me questions. I'm like, does anybody want to hear me talk? They're
So
like, nobody ever asked
Jay,
me
I'm telling
anything,
you,
man.
sometimes it's better.
I'm like, bro, I'll
because-
tell you everything I know for free. Like,
Right.
nobody ever asked me anything. I'm like, all right, nobody
Well,
wants to hear
now,
me
now
talk.
that they're
This is
gonna hear
fun.
this,
Yeah.
you're gonna get there and you're gonna be like,
Nah.
what did I do to myself?
My staff would be like, yo, this guy fucking talks that. Sorry, this guy talks that much. It's like, yeah,
No, you're
man.
good, Christ. It's fine.
Yeah,
Listen, I'm just telling you right now, though, be careful who you give
Mhm.
your phone to
Yeah, I
because I think that's one mistake I made
Mhm.
in the beginning.
Mhm.
And sometimes I get all these calls, and like you said,
Yeah.
like I love giving free advice, but
Mhm.
I'm also very real.
Yeah.
When I tell, like, I'm gonna give you the goods and the bads, and you take it how you want. And I say, like, if
I
this is
might
what
turn
you
you
want to
off.
do, yeah.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
and again,
But just letting you know.
that's
Mhm.
exactly what
But
it is.
sometimes I
Like,
tell him, I'm like, you're being a little negative. Can you
Mhm.
not be so negative?
Yeah.
Like, just
it's not
because,
about being.
I'm trying to save
Yeah.
somebody
I'm just
from being
trying-
in a bad spot.
Exactly,
Right.
because I see some people that are like doing so well at something that what they're doing, and
Mhm.
then they're trying to put their money in somewhere that like it's not their field at all. Because I
Yeah.
get calls like, hey, because they see like restaurants or things like
Mhm.
that, or they're making a little bit money,
Mhm.
and people are like, they think that they're
Yeah, let me
thriving.
get in
and they're
that
like,
game.
Let me get in that game.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do you know anything about this? Like, so are you gonna be able to like control what you're
Mhm.
doing?
You're gonna lose there to gain a little bit here, or maybe
Yeah.
lose there
and
to lose
doesn't make
here.
sense.
Doesn't make
I'm like,
sense.
doesn't
Yeah.
That's
make
what I tell her. And then
Mhm.
she's like, stop being so. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just trying to
Mhm.
tell them, like, if they have this that they built and they're doing so
Why not
well,
keep building it?
Yeah.
why do you want to get into something
Mhm.
that you know nothing about and you don't even know if you're gonna
Yeah.
make anything and probably lose both?
Mhm.
Like, continue with you. If that's what you want to do, I tell them, like, listen, I'll help you out. What do you need? You need help with distributors.
And
Oh yeah, because I don't know anything about
Mhm.
basically labor and where to order and like and I'm like, okay, so okay, I'll give you all that.
Well, the
But
next thing is like I don't want to do the work for you, man.
yeah,
Like, don't put me like, oh Jay,
like,
like
what are you asking?
what do I do first?
Yeah.
I'm like, look, man, like there has to be a level of you actually
Yeah.
like trying to get the information
Right.
on your own. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Because I can't open up because then at that point I'm opening up a truck for you.
for
You
Yeah.
know
you.
what I'm saying? I might as well be your
Exactly.
And
partner
you
then.
can't, I mean, unless you're my franchisee, I
Mhm.
also can't hand over like everything
Mhm.
about my business. I'm
Yeah.
all about helping young
Mhm. Mhm.
entrepreneurs. And
Oh,
hey,
we
you want to
Yeah.
open up a smoothie shop?
Mhm.
Great. I'll give you a little bit of the ins and out,
Mhm.
but I'm also not like, oh, here, this is the recipes that you
Yeah.
need and
Mhm.
everything. You
No,
got to
no,
kind of
because like
figure that
yeah.
out.
Mhm.
I get
And
all those questions. It's like recipes or like how does your kitchen area look like? Can we
Mhm.
figure out?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, listen, but what I do for your stuff, it might not work.
Might
We
not
need
work.
to-
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
all everything
We
is
still adjust with
Yeah,
different
we adjust.
locations.
Everybody
so
does
it's
this
like,
thing like a million different ways. That's another thing
Yeah.
people have to realize.
Yeah.
Like there ain't no right or wrong way to do this
No.
thing. Like you can have the kitchen in the front as soon as you walk in. I don't
Yeah.
know. And that might be the vibe of the place.
It's how it
You know
works
what I'm
for you.
saying?
You got to
Like
figure
you
that
can have
out.
open kitchen, a closed kitchen,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. You can have no seating, just a counter. It's all however like and
Yeah.
also at the end of the day, like we talked about before, it's like nobody knows and how much these places cost. Like capital. We were doing the numbers with my brother. I was like, let's hypothetically say you want to open up a rice and beans or an auto shop. I'm like, let's go through the numbers. He's like, damn. I'm like, yeah,
And
bro.
and
Like
as a
that's
matter
how
of fact,
much.
always add at least 20% on top of it because you're
Exactly.
always gonna
Yeah.
go
Yes.
through something where
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
shit, how the
Mhm.
hell did this? I thought this is how much it was gonna
Mhm.
be because it's
Yeah.
always every
And
store that we've honestly opened, it's always been
more
different. We
expensive. Yeah.
always like
Yeah.
assume like, all right, this is where it's gonna be. Some of them are a little
Mhm.
less, some are a little
Or there's
more.
just one
Yeah.
quirk of this specific store that are like, damn, that what a weird expense that we had to do for that because of
Yeah.
this. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But that's why I say, please go out there and seek the information. Like
Yes.
that'll tell you,
Do
like,
your
oh damn,
research.
maybe I don't have enough. Maybe I gotta wait another 2 years to have the
Right.
right capital. Maybe, or if they told you like, hey, bro, by the way, how much did you make on the truck? I'm like, yo, this is what I made at the end of the year. My first year, second, third, fourth. They're like, okay, you know what? I'm not quitting my corporate job because I did
How
that to
many?
some guy. He
Yeah.
was like, oh, me
Yeah.
and my partner, we both have corporate jobs and we're going to open up a food truck with this guy. And I'm like, so you're splitting it 3 ways, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's get this part really quickly over with. I'm like, where are you going to park it? Da, 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 da. I'm like, hey, let's just estimate this amount of sales minus this. I'm like, you're cool with making this each? He's like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, man. Take it as you want and go to the next guy and ask him the same
Oh my
question.
God.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He was like, all right, I'll call you later. And then he's like, yo, Jay, you know what? Thank you, man. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, you know, it really did give us some insight.
Right.
And again, like you're taking it from a guy that was hustling to make
Yeah.
the maximum of sales as he could, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And also that was the mission, like sales, sales, sales. How can we like bust out the seams? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that's why it's important to, you know, ask questions
Of course.
when you're
Absolutely.
serious again,
Yeah.
Right.
not just like waste people's time. I'm never gonna reach out to you for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So unless I like really need you to, you know, answer this question for me. Other than that,
Yeah.
I'm not here to waste your time.
All
You know,
right.
and at this level, like time, you're battling the time.
We
And that's
are,
it, you
yeah.
know. And people got to realize like it's very valuable. So
Yeah.
if Val's gonna give you your ear for 15 minutes, like
Take it.
that, yeah,
And
you know.
make sure you always
And don't take it lightly
appreciate
too.
Yeah.
Don't take it lightly, man. Like not everybody, like we talked about, not everybody shares information.
No.
There's a
No.
lot of
you're
weird
right.
people
A lot
out there,
of-
man.
yeah.
Like you know, and but don't think everybody's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Don't assume.
Don't assume that
Yeah.
everybody's the same way. Like,
Not everybody's
you know what
the
I'm saying?
same,
If you
man.
really need the help, like I'll try to help you. You know
Yep.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I'm not doing it for you. You know.
Exactly.
Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming
Mhm.
on. We really
Thank you
appreciate it.
guys. Yeah.
You gave
Mhm.
some great information. If we can inspire one person,
That's
then
all
we
it
did
is,
our
man.
job.
Like when I have
One
staff
person
meetings
at a
too,
time.
just one person. Like,
That's
can I
all.
just affect one of you guys? I don't care
Yeah.
about all 50 of y'all.
No,
No.
that's
Just
it.
one, man. And that's
Exactly.
enough, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's all we need. Well, thank
So,
you. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and make sure you check Brookfield
mhm.
Social,
Yeah.
Bodega, Crafts, and the new one soon,
Mhm.
which,
Yeah.
I'm sure
we're
he'll
excited
let
to
you
hear
guys
about
know
it.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you again.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
Appreciate
you.
your time.